Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast, the podcast where we are one member short, but for a short time. But we'll get into all that. I am, of course, your host, Mr. K. Asante, TK Asante, on all the places we communicate, including these days on our Discord, discord.gg/TGCP, and also, as a lot of you folks have been doing, on our website, which is really cool of you. A lot of readership there, and we appreciate that. And speaking of readership, as you can see from his title, the GCP editor and staff writer joins us this morning because we have some talk. So while we wait for Everborn Saga, he's about 15 minutes late. The one and only Soil Tech joined. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir. I am happy to be here. Just here on the East Coast at 7 a.m. So it's one of my favorite things to do on a Saturday morning is to come over here and mod. But I was happy to be asked to show up and share some of my thoughts on this very precious subject to all of us. I know digital rights. We all love digital rights, right? And what does digital rights look like in this new age where everybody's attempting to take them over? So, man. Sounds like a fun one to me, and I'm again always happy to be here. Everybody in the chat, check yourself because I will be checking you if you don't.
Oh dang! So just so you understand, the man Sorotech comes with good pedigree. Now he won't be giving you any legal advice because that's not what he's here for. But the man has a lot of his experience in this subject. So when that time comes, his tutelage will be quite necessary. I appreciate you being here, man.
Absolutely.
So, Everborn Saga currently is on his way. He says he's about 15 minutes from the studio. So we'll get started, and he will jump in as he can. So Solotech, as you know, here on this show, we start off with games we've been playing, and yeah, I'm sure you're going to have a couple for us. But before we get into that one, let's do a bit of housekeeping at the top. First and foremost, again, thanks to all the fine folks that are in here watching. Some of the folks that are always here every weekend. We appreciate y'all. I will say officially, we're going to PAX West, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's right. PAX West this year for the first time. We will be going. Now, why am I saying that? It's because we have officially received some notifications that we are clear to start making plans. So yeah, this is what we're doing. We really appreciate the opportunity to be able to go and represent, just like we did a couple of years ago at PAX East. We're hoping to go to PAX West. Seattle, never been there, so it will be exciting to go check all that out. So we'll be at PAX West this year. So all that dovetails into me first off pointing out that and it leads very well into some of the chats we have here. Oh, hold on here. Darn it. I think we lost some of them, but that's unfortunate. I apologize. Major's going to kill me. We'll talk about it later, Major. But here's the one I want to bring up first. The great Six Slayer with a $20 super chat. He says, for the travel fund, thanks again, Everborn, for the tip on that app. I will let Everborn know that you thank him. I appreciate you, Six Slayer, because that dovetails sweetly and with his donation into my announcement that we, as we're traveling to PAX, will be starting a fundraiser, if you will, because we're trying to get all of our boots on the ground. Obviously, myself, we have two other individuals that we're currently are scheduled to come. We're hoping to make it more. The more boots on the ground we can get, the better. So we really appreciate any donations or any kind of things you wanna donate to the cause. We never want to, of course, put you out because we know times are tough, obviously. But if you can, we will definitely be appreciative of your donations, because all of that will be heading towards defraying the costs of heading to Seattle in September-ish, September 4th to the 8th, I think it is, or 4th to the 7th. We're still working out the logistics, but we've received the go-ahead. So we're super excited to go and represent GCP there. So anything y'all can do, we appreciate it. And yeah, in addition to that, we also have an announcement as far as we spoke last week about giving away a code to, this is a Game Pass Ultimate code, a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate code to followers of the GCP X channel, which you see under my screen here, gaming circle pod. we couldn't get the actual the gaming circle card because X is X. But if you're able to follow us there, you will put into a raffle, and we actually were able to pill a winner. So today we will announce who will be the recipient of that 3-month code. And yeah, so and even if you're not able to win this month, we do have a bunch of different stuff we're planning on doing there. So please join us there, follow us there, so that you can also be added to the mix as well. Otherwise, let's see, we covered the fundraiser, we covered the announcement. Let's get into some gaming. Mr. Soiltech, sir, you are our guest. Give us some games that you've been playing this week. We'll go back and forth. What's the something that you've been spending some time in this week?
So to be honest, I had not had time to game.
Ooh.
So what I've been doing is, we'll talk about it later, is some of these extracurricular projects that we've been doing on the side. But when when I do game, I'm still jumping onto Forza Horizon 6. It's like,
really,
it's really fun, and shout out to my homie who passed away a few years ago. He was always about racing games, and I was never about racing games at that time. And since then, I'm like all about racing games. I buy every one I find, and even if I don't play, I just want to have it. And I don't know if it has that connection, but Forza Horizon 6 is really killing. The graphics are beautiful. The challenge is there, and speaking of Forza, I want to shout out one of our community members, Dario Charmer. Now, if you're ever in the Discord, he will be on. It's almost daily or every other day. He will post a video of a run that he just did, and this man does cross country. So he does things that I've never even thought of, and I didn't know there was game modes like this. But when he will go across maybe 2 different bodies of land to get to the other side of a track so he can get in front, and sometimes some of the ones he posts are just amazing because he's going through so many different kinds of terrain, and I would just be losing control because I don't have it like that. But my man Dario Charmer, he again, that some amazing stuff. Go check out the chat in the Discord. You'll see some of those videos, and if you don't know how this is how you could do it, this is how you could do it. And he'll tag a few of us, but I urge you to take a look. Aside from that, I started 007.
Okay.
And shout out to again another community member, Morty, who offered to even get the game from me. We do. Again, our Discord is a really cool place. We were always gifting each other games and stuff like that, and I was like, Morty is a staunch Steam head, Steam Gabe Blizzy, as we like to say, and he was more than happy to shoot it over, and I was like, no, sir, I am in this new digital age where I'm kind of liking what Xbox is doing in the context of dual entitlement. I do like sitting on my console and playing the game, but I do like getting on my Z Flow 90. Shout out to Major who sold it to me at my desk when I'm sitting with my daughter to play, or even on my rig. I'm not going to talk about it, but when I just want to play, I can have access to it. So I think that's kind of a really interesting thing that they're doing. But being a Steam first player in general, this is the first time, or maybe the second time, where when I had seen them give us dual entitlement, I actually opted for it because it was the console and the PC. And the first time I thought I was doing this, shout out to Stilo, I bought Battlefield 6. I bought it when I got the ROG Xbox Ally, which I subsequently returned. But I thought that I was going to be able to play it on there. Wasn't able to, so I never installed the game. So shout out to everybody who plays Battlefield 6, but that's a dead game, at least to me.
Oh no, you really making sure Stilo Facts comes for you. Okay.
Yeah, man. No, but again, and I was informed by one of our community members, and again, we have such a great community. We just really build a lot of news and just camaraderie around gaming. Where Buzz Killington, aka Zach Riley, he showed that Battlefield 6 is killing Arc Raiders, and Battlefield was at somewhat 80, 90, and Arc was at 10 or something like that. So, I see the trenches out there.
So when console wars is not happening, they start worrying about which multiplayer shooter is better. Oh Lord, help us out.
Exactly.
All right, all right. All right. No, that's fantastic, brother. I too still continue to play Forza Horizon 6, not as much as I used to, because like it's like when we started that, we were all playing together, having fun and all this, and then life and work that's really started crushing me. I even like renewed my wheel, which I'm still loving and I'm still trying to jump into. I brought it into my office, but I still haven't had a chance to really like hone in and connect with the control scheme just yet. But I still refuse to put it down. It's one of the games that is shorthand. Whenever I have a few minutes to play, I'll pick it up on the handheld or someplace like that. But frankly, there have been other games that have kind of taken my time this past week. First off, I will continue your talk on 007. You're seeing early stage gameplay. I'm rather late in the game myself, but I haven't
pause
finished
real
it.
quick.
I'm sorry.
Major asked me to shout out Mario Kart World Tour. Shout out to Mario Kart World Tour, the harbinger of the $80 games.
Oh my God! Yeah, we can add all of that into the soup when we're talking about the digital rights and all that. Yeah, we'll get there. Well, yes, I too have been playing 007, having a good time with it. It is really good, man. It's really good. I knew that it being IO that it would be good. I've always enjoyed the Hitman series and most of the games. I don't think there's a bad game of theirs that I've played. So me personally, I expected it to be good, but it is so darn satisfying. What I'm hoping now for is a bunch of DLC. I just hope for a bunch of DLC because I'm looking forward to continue to stay in that world. It's very fun to play. So yeah, I will give you a cosign in your adulation of this game. What I will say
Thank you,
is
because I will continue playing this. I only got past the prologue, and
Yeah.
I've just been waiting to sit down and give it like 2 or 3 hours so I can just really immerse myself. I've been hearing you talk about it, rather glaze it. So pause. I am really looking forward to it. And this gameplay looks amazing right here.
It is absolutely awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Like I think it makes like the end of the year award season talk very interesting. This is a very interesting time for this because this game is just like coming in and really changing people's minds on like what they expect from the game of the year. But of course, GTA has not emerged yet, which also is the juggernaut in any room it walks into. So it'll be interesting. Beyond that, I will say I have also been playing a few different things here and there. Some that are more that might interest the AAA fans, and some that might interest the indie fans. But let me take a moment and talk about a game that I was provided a code for. So first off, thanks to the developer for providing me the code. The game I'm talking about, which actually will be showing up on Game Pass, I think Monday. It is Ascend to Zero. Ascend to Zero. If you haven't heard of it, I will get some gameplay on the screen here. It is a very interesting kind of style. It was embargoed until Friday, so I've been playing it like off and on my own. I have not beaten it completely yet. When I do, I think I will write a written review. So check out that in the near future on the gamingcircle.com. But the game, basically in a nutshell, it's a vampire survivor like or a bullet hell twin stick like. And as all the best bullet hell twin stick likes do that come out these days have, this thing has like a very interesting hook where you are like you are the last human alive, because like robots, and this is the opening scene, robots have shown up and they have basically like brought the world to the brink of extinction. And shout out to the one Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Stop with the GCP has been. What is all that? Microphone check, sir.
Should I put on my GCP hat? Oh, I need to do that.
Everborn, if you're on, we cannot hear you, sir, but we'll continue. Anyway, so in Ascend to Zero, you are the last human alive. I think you're created in a lab. You're saved, and as soon as the game starts, the whole world has ended basically, and you're the last human alive. And before everyone died, they created this AI, this robot that created a time machine and allowed and gives you the power to go back in time for 30 seconds, every 30 seconds, right? So the beginning of the game has you going back in time as soon as you get into a run, and it's a roguelike as well, so you understand this. As soon as you get into a run, you have 30 seconds to quote unquote save the world. What that basically means is you jump in, you're at level 0, you can go to any room you want because you're frozen in time. You have the super dash, and let me jump to some gameplay so you can see it. It's quite an interesting hook that they've produced to this game. So you can walk into the run. Now the beginning there, that's the door, right? You can go into the stages and run for run. As soon as you jump in, you can pause the world with an X, and obviously this is you're playing the tutorial, so you're walking through, but this is not how the game usually plays. Usually you freeze time, and it gives you like right there, right? It gives you the opportunity to go into every level and kind of analyze what the game looks like. So as you see at the top here, you have 15 seconds until it hits 30 seconds and the game is over. So you freeze time, you can literally roll into any other room, go to the highest levels, just keep it paused, and you'll be going forever. And you can strategically look at where everything is, right? But you have no ability to interact or actually damage any of the metal enemies that are there, right? What you can do is you can open the chest. There are lots of chests that repopulate as you go by, so you can like get your currency up. You can find cool augmentations on your way. Find all that while you strategically decide how you're going to take it on. Because as you build up your arsenal, because you keep getting more and more tools and more powerful, right? As you build up your arsenal, now it's about how quickly can you take any monsters down within the room that you're in. Because when you do that, like they drop high level loot like a time extender, so you can keep going sometimes, right? Or like it will eventually, inevitably, as you see on the screen here, this is one of those time augmentation ones, where like, or inevitably the run will end, and then you go back to an overworld where you can apply all of the currency you've learned or you've gathered rather to augment your runs additionally, right? So when you first go into the game, there's obviously a story reason why you're all by yourself, but as you can see here, in the lab where you initially are, you have a bunch of folks that you have to save, and when you save them, when you go back to the overworld, now they are there as your equivalent of a blacksmith, one for the store, one for augmenting the world, the actual time machine that you keep using. So it kind of builds up an overworld around you once you save all of these folks in the lab, and then it moves on to trying to save the world, right? And it just gets super powerful over time, run after run after run, as you build your permanent augmentations. And then eventually you're just walking around like, and the high level crazy monsters that you had to pause and run around become fodder, right? So it's a very interesting kind of gameplay loop. I've been run after run after run, you get very powerful. So as you can see there, it's like one boss room after another boss room after another boss room. And like as you're playing it, first you're the one that's fodder, so you have to be very strategic in what rooms you unlock, right? Because you can unlock any room. You can just walk into any room and unpause. But then as you get more powerful, it doesn't require that. You're just running in, super ultra powerful, ripping people to shreds, and then moving on to the next one until you find what you're looking for. Very cool gameplay loop, very interesting style. You know, I've seen some glowing reviews of it all over the place. It will be on Game Pass day one. I think you should try it. It is a game called Ascend to Zero. It is obviously on Steam and all those other places as well. But I didn't even know it was going to come into Game Pass day one. But I did see that I think yesterday that it would be Game Pass day one. So that's really cool. I hope people try it. So Tech, is this your type of game? I know Everborn doesn't tend to be a vampire survivor like, and this is not exactly that, but it has a lot of those elements and roguelike elements as well. What do you think, Soultech?
I'm not a super survivor like, because forgive me, but when the game first popped off, I was like, what is controlling the action here? Like I couldn't figure it out until I realized that you're just like moving around and just doing a thing.
Yeah. So this is the overworld, by the way. As you jump, every time you finish your run, all those little sections get populated as you start saving those people in those worlds, and then you start adding really permanent wins. It's a very fun game, yeah. And the graphics are really cool and chunky.
This last a couple of weeks ago?
I think we may have seen some
I
of
feel
this
like we
at
saw
some
this at
point.
the mix, but I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure. But I might
Well,
be wrong.
so this was also some months ago. This was also, I'm pretty sure, at Steam Next Fest, where there was a demo at some point.
That might
I've
have been it.
played this some time ago. So yeah, it's now coming out like properly in 1.0. Very fun little game. You know, I've been putting a lot of time into it. It's one of those another run, another run, another run. You know, so yeah, I hope you try it, man. It's pretty good.
I think I will, because again, I pay for access, something I'll talk about later. So I'm going to try to take advantage of that access to this game, which I again
Yes,
don't own. Harbinger to it.
this guy. Yes. Good morning, Mr. Everborn Saga. Microphone check. Do you hear us?
What up?
There he is.
What up,
There he
Everborn?
is. What's going on?
Good morning, sir.
What's going on?
Nothing
So-
nuts. Just trying to get my life together.
Oh man, it's that kind of a morning, huh? You all right? You want to talk about it? Here on
No,
air with all
no,
your buddies?
no. Like this is all just technical desk issues because I do want to do at some point in the show a demo of my new favorite user interface.
You know, funny you mentioned this. I had the same technical issue this morning. My plan was to literally like do a show and tell as we've done before. I plugged everything in and I was just like, huh? It ain't even doing it. It's kind of weird. So I was like, well, I'll leave it to Everborn Saga. He usually has it working. And now you have the same issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's no issue with the software. This is just my desk being a mess from the BC250 project.
Hey, the BC250 boys are in the house. We're gonna talk about that, by the way,
Yo.
because we all here are either complete or in various stages of completion, and people be going, "What are you talking about, BC250?" We'll do that. So since
I'm
can't
complete and hand it off to my son. Like the project, I'm ready for the next one.
And you know what? I might steal one of your ultimate features things that you did. So like maybe get the photos handy because we'll talk about that. Since we can't really give WinHanced its full due because we wanted to talk WinHanced, we will talk WinHanced at some point. We'll have to figure out the technical machinations. But since we can't get it fully working right now,
when you're ready, I'm good. I don't want to do it right now. We got to stay on course, but I got it.
Sure.
I got the camera set up. I got the
excellent.
Everything's
all right. So we'll definitely do some WinHanced today then. Awesome. Good. My suggestion for you for the time to come is I would say load up a game, be able to load up a game on Xbox app, and then the same game on WinHanced, and we'll talk through that process step by step to let people understand what we're really talking about here as far as differences. Yeah, so we'll get there.
All
right. So again, thanks to the devs who let me play this game a little early. This is Ascend to Zero. It will be day one on Game Pass. I hope you try it. It is quite cool. The story is a little esoterical and odd here and there, but more often than not, it just facilitates being able to have these run for run and like allows for the mechanics and some of the gameplay elements. So I really do think the game is pretty cool, and I've been putting a lot of time into it. So Ascend to Zero, if you have a chance to, you should check it out.
The freeze time feature looks really cool.
Yeah. And it seems like a limitation in the
strategize,
beginning, and
all
it
that.
is a limitation in the beginning, but then it eventually like really becomes empowering as you run through it. It's really cool. They did a great job, you know. So there's that. Mr. Everborn Saga, you about to chime in with something?
Oh no, I've been no-lifing Adventures of Elliot, which is what would happen if Square was like, F it, let's make a Zelda game. And I'm not saying like, you know, it compares to the GOAT, but it is damn good. Like it scratches
some
that
stuff.
Listen, I know
Say
there's
some stuff and let
sniper rifle
Major
trained
come
on
to you.
me right now, so I don't want to speak
He
too
knows
out
what
of
it is.
turn. But
He knows what it is.
it does scratch the top-down Zelda itch. Like this is the closest thing you will get to Zelda-style dungeons in a top-down, you know, action adventure game. It's from the makers of Octopath Traveler. It has that same HD 2D, the HD 2D graphics from Octopath Traveler. It's the story is very lighthearted. It's a fantasy story, but again, I'm not. You're really playing this for the. You're playing this for the gameplay loop. And I see someone mention, what about Tunic? this is much closer to Zelda than Tunic is. Right? Tunic is you're solving a larger puzzle, trying to like uncover the pages of the book and the manual and things like that. Beautiful game, but this really is like Zelda. And then you have this a shout out to MJ Dark, that fairy that's with you. She's like the Atreus of this game, so like you can't walk 3 steps without her trying to tell you what to do. But they just added a patch that lets you shut her up because she's super annoying, like talking to you.
Very nice.
So you can turn off her voiceover that tells you what to do, and then you can just explore, because exploring here is fun. If you remember Dragon Quest VII, which is the one they actually just did the remake of with the different time periods, this has a similar plot where there's a villain. They go back in time so that they can change history and they can become the king. And you have to travel throughout time, and then you make changes and then come back to the present and then see the changes that you made. But again, the story is there, it's fine, but to me this is all about the dungeons, the exploration, it's just, if you're a Zelda fan, if you're a Link to the Past fan, like this is the next best thing you're gonna get until Nintendo gets off their behind and remakes Link to the Past. I love it. Love it.
Fantastic, sir. It really does look cool with the
and you can jump
dimensional aspects. You
unlike
can jump?
Link, you can jump
like freely jump.
Yes, freely.
Oh, fantastic.
Unlike Kratos and unlike Link, you can jump.
Oh, darn. Throwing some shade already. Okay.
But the other thing is there's a whole bunch of weapons, right? So it's not just the sword, right? Like you can get obviously like Link, you can get the boomerang and the arrow, but you can also get the hammer and the scythe, which is my favorite thing. And then they have this like, it's kind of like a materia system. This is a square or whatever. They call it magicite. So you can find these and you can generate these at random, and they will add perks, like perks and buffs to your different weapons, and you slot them in to each weapon, and then you can augment the weapon. So like, for example, the scythe has this thing, well, while you're charging it up, if you add this magicite fragment, it will now spit out fireballs while you're spinning the scythe. Like it's like a chain axe. And then the fairy can be upgraded. So like you can get something where she'll allow you to run really fast, like do a charge. There's another one where you can light her on fire, which will attack people. There's another one where you move her with the right stick, the right joystick, and then you can teleport to wherever she is, right? So there's a lot in there, and it's not simply a Zelda clone, but it absolutely stands on its own. But it is very beautiful. Give you all the vibes, right? Like
very beautiful.
And again, the moment to moment is fantastic, right? Like you know, at first I was like, oh, Alabaster Dawn is like, it's not seeing that, but like when you get the different weapons and you start upgrading the weapons, by the way, you can get 3 different levels of each weapon as well. So then
hold on now. Are you trying to tell me that this supersedes Alabaster Dawn for you at this point?
No, I'm not saying that, because Alabaster Dawn is like
something else, man.
Yeah. But this is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it surpasses Alabaster Dawn, but I thought it paled in comparison, and I'm reneging on that statement, because what they do here and all the things that are in your arsenal make it up there. So I can't speak highly enough about Adventures of Elliot. Like
very nice.
Like
very nice. Okay.
If this is your bag, I know it's also like $59, so it's a full price game, but I think it's worth every penny.
But it looks like a Nintendo game, you know, like, even though it's not, right? But it looks like it harkens back to those times when games kind of retained their value, and this is very much that style. So I do see what you mean. it joined the backlog because man, there's just too much going on right now. But
yeah, yes. I'm telling you, this was a thing where I was playing 007 and I got this, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna have to see you later, Bond.
Oh man!
So this is the only thing I'm playing right now.
Okay, very cool. All right, sir. So that is Adventures of Elliot. Everborn Saga superseded 007 with it. Hey, and we just finished talking about how 007 would make things spooky for Adventures award season. So it'll get even more interesting because people are superseding the 007.
I just don't know how many people, because I feel like not enough people are talking about this. So I don't know if this is gonna get remembered during award season.
This gives me a lot of Mina the Hollower energy as well. Those who know are loving it, and not enough people are talking.
It is awesome, actually. That is another one I am playing in the background.
You know what? Funny enough, I actually put down Mina the Hollower for this too.
Hey,
and Mina the Hollower is amazing.
Look at this. All right, man. So that's another endorsement. Adventures of Elliot. Everborn Saga says it is something that definitely should be up on your playlist, if not in your backlog. Fantastic. No, that's real cool, bro. That's very cool. Let's see. We're gonna talk a few more games, but let me once again recap and catch up.
Sorry, Major says it's not full price on PC. That is true. I think I paid like $38.
Very nice. Okay.
For one of the key sites. Just go to deals.gg.
Yeah. So
GG.deals, however.
All my PC heads out there, go get your deals on.
Also, I didn't mention this. Stilo is correct. Well, I don't know if he's talking about 007, but I am talking about Adventures of Elliot. My God, I find myself just humming the theme song to Adventures of Elliot. The score, and it's like a full score. It is really, really good. The music in this thing. So, but Stilo was probably talking about 007. I'm talking about Adventures of Elliot. So he's with me. He's the Adventures of Elliot. All right, so he gets it. This guy gets it.
Shout out to the great Stilo Facts in the chat.
Shout out to Busy Bone,
member of our community. Yeah, shout out to Busy Bone. If you know, you know. Anyway, so before we continue, let me just catch up on just a few more super chats and one more super chat rather, and let's just get us started. That's the great Brett Binghamton.
It says Magicite sounds like magic-born disease. You see Gandalf, he caught Magicite twice.
And Brett was on with us on Boom Show last Wednesday. Had a great showing. He said he had just started podcasting. So salute to you, good sir. Appreciate you being here. Anyway, so a couple super chats real quick. I already said it at the top, but now we have more of a full boat. Neverborn is here, so I'll do it again. The great Six Slayer was first with a super chat this morning, giving us a little bit of a donation for our fund, and I will use that again to announce that we are going to PAX West, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to PAX West. We've already gotten some word and some accreditation, which we appreciate. I think that it was I suspect that it was our work at PAX East and all the good coverage we provided that put it over the top. So they agreed to allow us to come and cover PAX West. So that is our announcement. Myself and a few others are slated to go. Everborn, we need to talk in the background. I know we're still due for a conversation, but officially GCP will be at PAX West in September. And I do that to say, please do, as the great Success has also done, consider donating, because we will need as much of the donations as possible to defray a lot of cost heading towards Seattle in September. So if you can, we appreciate it. Anything you can provide. Obviously, YouTube takes their cut. So anything that is available to you that you can provide us, we appreciate you so much. Times are tough. We don't want to put you out. So anything you can do, we appreciate. So there's that announcement.
Welcome to the WB.
Exactly. That's you want to see the little bit WB frog? I can do that for you. For those who know, join the Discord. Anyway, also, Mr. Too Opinionated with a $2 super chat. Thanks again, Mr. Too Opinionated. He says, "Don't be scared to slander Avowed. # screw Gamsley." Damn. Wow.
I approve this message.
What's going on? It is very, very wild out there, bro. That is some wild energy.
If you know, you know.
So join the Discord, discord.gg/TGCP. I'm sure you too will understand some of this. Damn. He broke me a little bit.
Oh, man, we have too good of a time. We really do.
Anyway, so yeah, thanks to Mr. Opinionated for your donation as well. Please consider donating. We really appreciate it because all that will go to getting some tickets to head out to Seattle this September. And them tickets ain't cheap. So anything you can provide would be really greatly appreciated. And we'll do our best to provide you great coverage. On that front of great coverage, we have a lot of really interesting things planned. Both we have some interesting interviews that we have ahead, as well as some games that we're hoping to review for you guys on the channel. So stay tuned. A lot of new opportunities for us, all because of your viewership and your support of the channel and your support of the website. So thank you guys once again. Let's see. Before we move on, another game I've been playing real quick. And I'll talk about.
Well, let me just hold you up real quick. I want to wish, just because we have it there, Mr. Floodzilla, happy birthday to you, sir.
Oh, snap. The great Flood.
Happy born day, Flood.
Happy born day to the great Floodzilla. He's in the house. The Penguin contingency, stand up. Another one of our BC 250 boys.
All right, hey, and I hope Lisa Sue calls you personally to wish you happy birthday,
sir. Shout out to the great Floodzilla. One of the founding members of our community. We love this man. So yeah, happy birthday, brother.
The hardware backbone cause of the GCP.
Who's also working on his BC 250, by the way. We're gonna get into all the BC 250 talk because we need to. It's all bubbling in the background. But all right, quickly.
I'm ready for the Fractal Terror game.
I know. Hey. I'm gonna take
Soil. Why don't we call it the Fractal Terror Squad?
Bro, because you have gotten me so jelly, I am gonna order the damn Fractal Terra now. Like I thought about it yesterday, and I started
Terra Squad, baby,
night, dude. Sir, yes, the Fractal Terra boys.
The Terra Squad, because it has hip hop connotations. Keep going. But you know, I will take this moment to pat myself on the back live on air because I'm very proud of myself. We've come full circle where Mr. Everborn Saga used to consider PCs for Excel spreadsheets, and now he's got more PC builds than I do. He's in the middle of multiple projects. This is a beautiful thing.
This is because the console.
You know, killer app, computer science majors. Shout out.
Listen, all I'm saying is this is only happening because the console experience has come so far along that I can feel at home building these things.
Hey,
so CEG is still alive.
Going on. CEG is indeed still alive. All right, so quickly before we get into other gaming talk, I have to also talk quickly about a game I've been playing, which is Echo Generations 2. Have y'all spent some time playing some Echo Generations 2? It's been out for a little bit, and it's a really this thing's acting up a little bit. Hold on, let me pull it. Go ahead.
Was that what you put up? Oh,
yeah. That is. Oh, I'm correcting my footage here. This is definitely Echo Generations 2. I don't know if you've played Echo Generations 1 or not.
That looks good though, bro.
It is such a cool game, man. And Echo Generations 1, if you haven't played it, I think it left Game Pass already, but it's worth the purchase. Like, really beautiful game. Like, has a lot of almost nostalgic gameplay energy to it. Like obviously new game, but it's based on what do you call it? Turn-based combat. Very, very, very fun gameplay elements. I'm trying to find some footage to pull up for folks here real quick. Let me pull up the demo footage real quick here. But it's just such a wonderful experience. And with Echo Generations 2, the actual gameplay and the story rather is basically Stranger Things. It's a Stranger Things game. That's what it is. Like, and again, it's still turn-based. the gameplay style, maybe Everborn Saga, you can see this as well. It's almost Octopath Traveler in its pursuits a little bit, where it has like a realistic world, but the characters themselves are like pixelated in their 3D, not quite Adventures of Elliot, but its own little representation of that 2D 3D style. I really love the art style.
Is this a roguelike?
But well, it's not a roguelike. It's an adventure game. It's an adventure game with turn-based combat.
Well, the deck system is kind of what's throwing me into like that.
Sure, yeah. When you start the game, you have like your move sets are represented by a card system, right? So it's very cool. But as you can see, it gets pretty dang gruesome. It's very much borrowing energy from the Stranger Things. So big bad mystery, young kids that shouldn't be there but are there. Very 80s 90s energy. The music, the whole thing. It's very good. Like, it's very good. I feel like this thing got lost in the sauce because there's just so much going on right now. But this is meant for us. Like, very nostalgic 80s 90s energy. Really cool.
It's like a 3D sort of like,
yeah,
not necessarily open world, but not necessarily, I don't know, am I seeing like a on rails sort of thing, or is it you're just like walking around wherever?
Well, so at the beginning of the game, the reason why I say it borrows a lot from Stranger Things, at the beginning of the game, you are like a Stranger Things 11 type character, where you're breaking out of your lab. So this is the lab that you're breaking out of, and you have all these crazy powers, and these folks here, and this right here serves as your tutorial. So I'm not spoiling anything. Gotcha. These are the powers you have represented as you start the game, because they've been experimenting on you, as they do, Stranger Things style, right? So you're this gifted kid, and these are the soldiers that are charged to guard this secret laboratory that you're breaking out of. So you're going room for room, trying to make your way to the top, trying to make your way out of the lab and escape, right? And they're using this area as a way of serving as your tutorial to teach you all the various power sets you have. But like, she's got like head exploding powers, and as you can see, really, really, like, it goes to those places. It's very cool. Like, and I love its turn-based style as well.
How did
Guest Studios says it's an RPG like the first game, but it is an RPG card system.
Yep. It's an adventure game.
Gameplay style.
Yes, you can progress the gameplay style. You can get more of those cards. Like, you can build up your skill set and then use them in combat, right? Like, you can decide which ones you use in combat. So it's not all these. These are what you get in the beginning.
And do I need to play the first one to get into the second one?
So if you play the first one, it will enrich your playthrough of the second, no doubt. But I think they've kind of made it like a good enough to where you can jump in right from this one. I would say if you don't want to play the first one, which I also think is really good, like, just watch a summary video on YouTube or something. It'll get you ready for the second one as far as story is concerned. But yeah. So again, this is Echo Generations 2. It's still on Game Pass, but even if it's not, I would say seek it out and buy that thing. It is quite good. It's very, very good. More people should be talking about it. More people should be playing it. It is very fun. It's just one of those things that I would imagine, with the onslaught that is our gaming season, this thing is getting lost in the sauce, as many games have gotten. So,
this year is insane.
Yeah, man.
This year's insane. And then when September comes, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was so like 10 toes down that I'd go back to Crimson Desert. I still refuse to give up on that idea in my mind, but I have not gone back to Crimson Desert because there's too many games and not enough time in the day at this point. But yeah, it is.
That's one of my regrets this year too.
Which I don't know what's on the docket today, but it is also why you can't just release good games in this market. They'll get completely consumed by the onslaught of excellent games coming from all over the place. Like, how many times of a developer you never heard of just comes out and makes this amazing thing? But you'll see how that ties into things as
that may be that is the main story. So again, at the top, before I read this this chat here. At the top, just letting you guys know, we are going to be talking about basically the turning of things, right? We're going to be talking about the end of physical media and what that
And by
means.
things, you mean screws into the gamer.
You could definitely say that. We're talking about physical media and what that means, and with the announcement that Sony made, Microsoft's obvious Xbox reset and those ramifications, and of course the Ubisoft and their latest release of Black Flag and all those ramifications. We'll be talking about the gaming industry writ large and what seems to be the reverberation of a lot of changes, definitely. But before we get there, the Great Infinite Umbra member, been a member for 27 months, good sir. Thank you, man. He says, I see a few folks here who failed to show up for my first annual, second consecutive GTA 6 fundraiser, like Mr. Asante, and he gives me the face.
I would just say I do not support that endeavor, but I'm all for when the PC version comes out.
There you go. First off, I agree with Mr. Everborn Saga there. We do not support that endeavor. Secondly, I was actually planning on showing up this time, but for a while there, Mr. Umbra was not to be reachable during the time of his own show, right? We actually called him. We sent text messages. The man was out of pocket. So I thought, hey, maybe the show wasn't going to happen. Later that day, I come to see that the show actually happened when I disconnected from Discord. I was actually ready to go, by the way. That's where the WB Frog whole situation comes from. If you missed it,
WB.
There you go. He promised me some WB Frog action, but pause. But yes, that is the main reason why you didn't see me on your show, or in the chat on the show, because you didn't do the show on time. I thought the show was going to happen, and then later on found out it did happen anyway. But I was
buy me GTA.
Umbra, I just want to say I never want to see you tap dancing like that damn frog. Don't ever.
You see, this is always
never hear the end of it.
Stop it. Let the people come to the Discord if they want to know the truth of what's going on. Yeah. All right. But anyway, so since the Infinite Number is here and he claimed that I couldn't do it, I will once again reiterate. This is me tap dancing. Watch me tap dance. Come and give us some money.
No, not on my watch. You do that on your own time.
But no, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to PAX West, and we would appreciate any donations you can provide us. We have a high budget we need to meet, and anything that folks can provide us will help defray the cost. We have 3 tickets to pay for, three flight tickets to pay for. That we're hoping
I recommend for this drive.
Yes, sir.
You get a counter up.
Okay, we could do that. Yes.
We got to hit a goal because it helps people understand what they're.
Absolutely. Yes. And there's the great Lucius Augustus who's here. Shout out to you, Lucius. He is one of our team members who will be on boots on ground, ladies and gentlemen. We have confirmation, as he says. We are all in, as he says. Media access coverage, the whole situation. So yes, this is us asking you if you appreciate the content we provide, and we're putting boot to ass, as it were. If you appreciate the content we provide, we have been doing. We're really pushing to try and level up, and we will need your assistance to do so to get us to those locations. We'll try to do more and more of this great coverage for you, both on the website and on the channel, video coverage, the whole situation. But we're heading to PAX West this September, so anything you can provide as far as funding, we would appreciate it. We'll put a goal out there, and we'll let people know. While Lucius is here, I will say, and before I get there, Paris jumps in and says, I hope you all bought $1,000 PS5 Pro and the $100 GTA 6, because y'all should just accept these prices and not complain. Well, all right, bro. Damn. He is well within his villain arc right now. Are you saying that while sitting on your yellow chair, sir?
He sounds like Colin telling people not to complain about media, but
shout out to the great.
We can have that conversation another day.
He's becoming.
Also, first of all, hold on. Just jokes aside, congratulations. I think Paris had a life event, which I don't know if he once mentioned, but I am saying congratulations.
Congratulations, good sir. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, you know, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I hope you got nothing but congratulations in return and props. We appreciate you, sir. So, you know, and a lot of people give you crap online. So congratulations on that life event. That's awesome. Yeah, man. So anyway, so before we move on and we start talking properly. Oh, you're a little. You came in and out a little bit. Maybe
you're in the shadow realm again, as we call it.
Yeah, a little bit. Try it again.
Sorry about that. I said Paris says, "Don't be putting my business out there now, guys."
That's what I said. That's why I don't know if he wanted out there. I just said life event.
Apologies. Yes. You know, we haven't had a chance to chat in the background, so yes. Anyway, apologies. Anyway, so Everborn Saga. Any other games that you want to shout out? Before we move forward?
Not at the moment. Well, okay. Everybody says this game is terrible, but the trailer looks amazing, which is it's basically a Sword Art Online game. And if you let me tell you, I think it's Echoes of Aincrad. I think it's
Aincrad.
Wow. Yeah, if you look at it, it's cell shaded. It's an action RPG. It looks great, but the reviews are terrible. I'm waiting for the price to drop because I will give it a shot, but not at full price because it didn't get great reviews, and then people who I trust are telling me not to waste my time with it. But
Echoes of Aincrad. I see the
during the first season of Sword Art Online, which is the only good season of that series.
Okay. So here's let me pop this on the screen real quick. Here's an IGN review of the game. Let's see if we can pop this up real quick. Interesting cell shading style.
Yeah, wait till you see some of the action. Like that's the thing that really sticks out.
That is very cool. Okay, so and this is like all right. I see why you like it. You're Mr. Sword and Board fantasy, right? Okay, very cool.
Wait till you see some attack. It's better if you put on the trailer, I guess.
Okay. All right. So let's find the trailer for it. Trailer. This makes for good audio listening, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. So here's the PS5 launch trailer for it. So there you go. I hope it's not just a cinematic trailer. We hope we get to see some combat. But
no,
all right,
you'll see some combat.
So tell me why people say this is not great.
So they say they do this semi-open world thing, so it doesn't rewrite any of the lore or canon of Sword Art Online, but it does take place within that in a subplot with new characters. But you get to meet the characters from the show, and it does respect the source material. The issue is that the combat's fun, but there's not enough variety. So you're fighting a lot of the same enemies, and the open world is that's like actual live gameplay, by the way, what you see.
That's cool. Yeah, it looks good. Look at that. Yeah.
So they said the fighting is the best part of it. It's the world exploration that just bogs the game down.
So it should have been a bit more streamlined, a bit more linear rather than
because you can't do an open world if you're not gonna fill it properly. So it's like really they do this open world, but you can't stray far off or they're going to bring you back to the golden path, and you basically are just running to get to the point that they tell you to. The other thing is there's like 100 levels or 100 floors in the Sword Art Online, and this only takes you to floors 1 and 2, even though it's like a 40-hour, 50-hour game. So
interesting. Okay.
Again, I'm a fan of season 1. I think it all fell off after that, and then it got anime into the isekai rut, as I like to call it. But I'm intrigued by it. I'm just not going to pay full price for this.
I feel you. Okay. I mean the chat seems to agree. The combat does look pretty decent. So hey, here's to hoping that the game actually comes together at some point. It being Sword Art Online, does that mean this is like an online ever progression
fully
world?
Single player. Fully single player.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right.
Remember I don't know if you're familiar with the Sword Art Online story, but it is an MMO, and it is getting ready to go to launch, and all the people who are in it day one, there's this like dungeon master, and he basically says you can't log out, and if you die inside of the game, you will die. You'll die in the real world. So the show is a video game.
Interesting. Okay, that's super nice. That's a nice premise to get a game started. That's pretty cool. All right, very nice. Cool, very cool. All right, so with that said, I think we're ready to start talking some what we're here for. But before we get there, I think we also have a couple more chats to get through. Let's get through those real quick. Let's see. The great Big Mad Mo, who's been a member for 29 months. He says, shout out to the GCP. Take wet weather gear. We have fun because the place is miserable. Hope you guys get to see the sun when y'all out there. Hashtag in Asha, I trust. Oh man, we got the Xbox contingency standing 10 toes down. Shout out to the great Big Mad Mo. Appreciate you continuing to be supportive here. The great Hollywood Rules also been a member for 16 months. Thanks to all those great members, man. Thank y'all so much for continuing to support us. He says, happy Saturday to my favorite graybeards and my Sega cousin. Also, ID didn't get launched into the sun. Yeah, we should talk about
wait a minute.
ID.
You're telling me that we shouldn't take every negative Xbox rumor as absolute fact?
Exactly.
And not wait for more concrete evidence?
Hey man, some days.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for you.
Bold strategy. All right. He continues with a 5 and says, supporting my adult morning cartoon minus the cereal and sitting in the living room on the living room floor. Guys accompanying me on my drive to NYC for work. Hashtag PAX. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. All the continued support. And he finishes that off because he's quite generous this morning. Finished off with another 5, says, how dare Parrish show happiness on Twitter? Doesn't he know that breaks with the misery code? Good for him. Congratulations. That misery code, bro. It's a killer. People really love that stuff. Anyway. Oh, also, before we move on and talk properly, I was waiting for Lucius to actually get here, but since he's here and I had planned on announcing this, I will announce it now. The winner of we had a little bit of a giveaway going on. We were trying to get some viewership and some follows rather on the Gaming Circle Pod Twitter X page. So we asked folks to follow us, and we'll put your name in a hat, and at some point we are going to announce a winner of the Game Pass Ultimate 3-month code, and it's a stackable code. So whether you are new to the program or you already have some time, you'd be able to add this to your existing and get 3 months more. And of course, we now have a winner. The winner is Raid Biz, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Raider Biz. So Raider Biz, I've already reached out to Raider in the background. Congratulations. I will provide you that code momentarily. Shout out to you. And I urge all those who have not been following us on our Gaming Circle Pod X channel to please consider doing so on X. You'll see the name of it, and the information is under my header. So consider following us there. We will be doing sporadic giveaways there as well. I actually have some codes that I think I'm just gonna randomly drop in there for a few games that I have gotten my hands on X on Steam rather. So be on the lookout. We might drop a couple more codes there as well. But gentlemen, thank you guys so much for convening and joining of the crew of the Gaming Circle. Now it is time to discuss what we are here to discuss, which I will allow Soltech. I'll let you decide where we go. I think we should start from the bottom and head to the top. The ultimate story being physical media and all that, in my opinion. But let's talk about some Ubisoft a little bit. What do you think? Have y'all started Black Flag? Anybody play Black Flag yet?
No, I'm gonna wait just because you got, like I said, I'm playing Adventures of Elliot right now, and then Campaign Evolves coming out at the end of the month. So I'm really not going to have the time to put into it. So I might as well wait and get the Ubisoft 50% off special that they do in a few weeks after launch.
Oh boy. So let's start there. First and foremost, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, a lot of people's favorite Assassin's Creed, resynced, came out to rave reviews, as it's being known on Xbox. It's a 4.9 out of 5. On Sony, on PlayStation, it's a 4.8 out of 5. A lot of people are loving it. People really love this game. It's impressing. It's crushing numbers all over the place. But in addition to that, as part of the launch cycle, they kind of gutted the studio right after the thing launched. Am I getting that wrong? Soltech, have you been?
No, I heard that they released 50 of the developers on the day that the game launched. Now I don't know if that's the whole size of the studio, but that hurts, and that basically says that, hey, you ship and you work your tail off to develop a game, and as soon as it ships, you're shipped out. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, and this is not even a situation where the game came out and it's not that great, or people aren't really connecting with it. This is a great old game that has come back, and people have given it the attention that it rightly deserved. People love it. Once again, a bunch of people are buying it. The dust hasn't even settled on its launch cycle yet, and the first thing they do is basically gut the studio. They basically just, it's done. They have no what's the high level quote here? There will be no further mandates for Ubisoft Barcelona, despite the team's focus on proposing new Assassin's Creed projects.
Wow.
Right. So sad, right? It's and this is not to start the gloom and doom early, but unfortunately, it's a microcosm of what the industry is looking like right now, and it might lead to explaining some of the very unfortunate and head scratching decisions that are being made in some corners. It's really unfortunate. Hold on. Lucius in here comments and says, notice a lot of people that were fired were older devs versus AKA the most expensive ones, but I doubt that they set up younger devs that they should have enough to succeed, which tends to happen, right? That tends to be, and that for that I usually expect more management oversight on that, right? Because at some point you will always see that transition happen where the older devs or the seasoned, experienced devs who tend to be more expensive are then shown the door, or they retire, and then they transition to the next generation, right? But if you leave it to just the business themselves, it tends to be haphazard, right? That usually the managers and the management level are able to transition that in a way that feels a bit more seamless, and obviously that didn't happen here. Any thoughts from you, Mr. Everborn Saga, as to this news? I was always like you. I was always this was always gonna be backlog for me for a while, because I've played the heck out of Black Flag.
I mean,
but this is crazy news, bro.
So good news for me is I actually never played Black Flag.
Oh, fantastic!
And it was one of those games that I bought as soon as it came out because I was excited for it, and by the time it came out, I just didn't have time to play it. So I'll be experiencing it for the first time like this. But I mean, this is what happens, right? Like you don't need you have to fully staff up to ship a game, and then you're either going to put that whole team to work on a DLC, or they're going to be sitting around waiting until the prototyping team and Pitt's team gets a new game greenlit, and then even after that they've got to go into pre-production and then full production. So what do you do with that staff?
Yeah.
Do you just have them sit around for maybe a year or two until it's time for when you need them, or how does it work?
But isn't that the background transition that used to happen, where and we used to complain in the early aughts when UB used to do this, where they would you would see a lot of UI UX and a lot of fundamental Ubisoft systems be transitioned from team to team to team, because they were transitioning those team members. Whenever they're done with one thing, they're on to the what do you call it, Watch Dogs, looking exactly like Assassin's Creed a little bit from a UI UX elements and certain elements perspective. We complained as gamers about that because it looked like it was regurgitation, but it looks like when they're not regurgitating, then they have no choice but to let people go. You know what I mean? Like there's no good answer, unfortunately, for all of this, and it's just sad. It's just sad. But yeah, this much like what was the other game?
Let me
the Prince of Persia also had some similar issues where the game came out, it did great, and then the people were unfortunately showing the door. Very sad.
Now I want to read something from Jacob Novak. Who worked in the industry, and he has a lot of things to say about gaming info. He usually takes the side of the corporation, which that's the team he played for or whatever. And I also want to shout out to VG Fight School because he did a video on this kind of breakdown. But I do want to repeat it here, and you should watch VG Fight School's channel. But I'll repeat it here. And like I said, shout out to him because he put me onto this, but I think it's apt here. So what Jacob Novak says is, I'm going to paint a picture on how team bloat impacts devs and budget. And he says some people can hold him accountable if he's wrong in this thought exercise. So a studio completes a game in 2018. The team, which is at full size, needs something to do. So while the smaller group, around 5 people, go into pre-production on a sequel, the larger group, 100 people, works on a DLC. Now the original game is released, a new burn clock. Now that the original game is released, a new burn clock begins for the studio. The sequel pre-production team works 6 months on a proposal for greenlighting one. Its output is a deck of visual illustration image of aesthetic, bare bone story, and design ideas that will be new. Maybe the idea is good, maybe the idea is bad. The DLC team is going to be done with the DLC in 6 months, so there's a ticking time clock. The studio can't assign a larger team to the new game until pre-production is more mature after the first playable prototype passes green light 2. If the studio kicks the pre-production team back into restarting pre-production, if the studio kicks the pre-production team back into restarting pre-production for another 6 months, they're going to have the DLC production team with nothing to do. So even if the idea is bland, they'll pass the sequel's green light one. Because they'd rather fix the bland idea in the time between Greenlight 1 and Greenlight 2 so that the DLC team can roll into production. Otherwise, they have to lay off the larger team after and then rehire them again 6 months later. Bad for morale, bad for the studio's image. That is what happened right here, right? Now we're going to keep continuing. Now, the pre-production team is going towards Greenlight 2. They have a playable prototype. It's okay, but not super innovative. Still, the ticking time clock is there. They hit Greenlight 2 and they pass it with some concerns that they need to improve the game design in production. The DLC team doesn't have to be laid off. The jobs are saved. Now you're in 2019. The team is now a full production team. They have a year and a half to get to a vertical slice. They have check-ins in between, but the nagging concern is that it's still not that innovative or fun. And there's an engine issue bogging them down. And they're having parts of the production team do R&D on some game mechanics that should have been done during the pre-production instead. Vertical slice production moves slowly. A lot of ideas are cut, art thrown out, scripts reworked. They are deep into trying to find the fun. They hit mid 2021. The vertical slice is there, but it's not fun. It fails. They need to re-enter pre-production, but they don't want to lay off the production team and destroy morale. So they again assign a production team to work on asset models or find the fun detail while the script continues to be reworked. A new vertical slice is scheduled for mid-2022. They are a year behind budget with a full production team being paid, and the budget is now going up 25%. Since the budget is more expensive, they need to justify the cost of the game to not be canceled, so they come up with a bold revenue figure. The bold revenue figure is justified because they're going to add lots of X and Y things to do that will get better reviews and thus more dollars. The alternative, again, is to lay off the production team. They don't want to do it. So they say, okay, we will really drill down on what makes it fun and just expand the scope of the game to justify the sales expectation. We hit Vertical Slice 2 attempt. The team says that the scope is too broad and they need more people. The budget has increased again and the game is still not gelling. Vertical Slice is passed, though, with the understanding that they'll figure out the rest of content in the production phase. I could go on like this, but you see where this is going, right? So should I keep going on? Is the audience interested? Are you guys interested?
Keep going, bro.
All right. So content production phase starts to add cutscenes, mocap, voice acting, trailer prep, marketing prep. The team size is now 200 people. The scope is so broad that the game really needs to hit it out of the park to make the sales it needs. Everyone is nervous about whether it can hit the high enough Metacritic to make the money back. They need the time to build the content and another year to polish and bug fix. The new release is set for 2024. The budget is already doubled. The solution to every problem is more people. The game has to be perfect. It has to be big. So people and time are justified. They hit 2024, green light or polish, and fail. The game is still not fun. They need another year to fix design. The whole team is exhausted by the slog. They're throwing out code, entire locations, redone art. Everyone is firing on all cylinders because it's now too big to fail. It's 2025. Management is getting impatient. They are told the game is almost ready. Playtests show the game is kind of boring and bloated. Can the studio get another year and 200 people? They don't want to lay off anyone to restart. The code base is so vast, the design documents are so huge that they are equivalent to George R.R. Martin's Winds of Winter. Management doesn't want to cancel, can't give them more time, can't lay people off. The decision is made to enter the polish and ship and hope for the best. Outsourcers are brought in to finish the art. The budget is nearly triple from 2018 because people got promotions and inflation increased radically between 2020 and 2025. It's 2026. The game is out. The reviews are okay. The sales are tepid. There is a team of 200 people who have worked 7 years together. They'll get it right. They'll get it right next time. Can they work on a DLC in the meantime? Question mark. The main problem you see here time and time again is the fear of not reducing the team size leads to decision making of moving the process forward when the game is not ready, leading to bloat of both content and budget and the needs to cover the cost of investment. Management's main issue in the last 6 years has been not laying people off sooner. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. A film crew disbands when the movie completes. The failure of games to do this is a major reason we are in the place we are in. Okay. The only thing that I will say to that about the film and game comparison, films do lay people, they don't lay people off. They're all sort of contract workers. The difference though is everything in Hollywood is unionized, right? This is why you have writer's strike. This is why you have these other things. And so even though people leave a project when it's done, they're in a union, so they get pushed to another project because the film studios can only hire union people. So unless the gaming industry is going to do the same thing where everyone's unionized and you can't just throw people away, and
they are heading towards unionization.
You are, but that's very siloed, right? Company by company. Hollywood, if you're using somebody on the set, the crew has to be in a union. This is what SAG is for. This is what the Screen Directors Guild is for. That's what all those things are for. So the workers at least have some protection.
Sets.
Right.
Like the production assistants. Everybody is part of the SAG on that.
Right. So, unless the gaming is going to do that, it's not so simple to say just get rid of them. But I do think that story highlights what happens. And so when you see these layoffs, it's easy to say evil corporation, but this is we also say budgets are too high. Where do the budgets come from? It's the people working on the games.
So you know what? This dovetails beautifully into the whole thing with Xbox. Let's talk about that. Obviously, we're here in the Ubisoft land, but this is a tale of the entire industry, and we know there's been a lot of detail since we last spoke about it, and more solidified data about it now. So Mr. Everborn Saga, continue, sir, but I would say add the recent announcements from Xbox to the conversation as well. Add the Asha Sharma huge notification that she did. Let's get into that as well. What do you think?
And maybe the id tech part.
We'll get into. Okay, so first, let's talk about the thing first, and then we can get into id tech and a trend that I'm seeing, where we just anything negative as it relates to Xbox, we just take it as fact before it's confirmed.
Boy.
And it doesn't matter where the rumor came from. It could be a random reset era post. It does not matter. You got to get your pound of flesh because the negative Xbox news drives clicks. But we'll talk about that later.
And by the way, also, Mr. Everborn Saga, just so you understand, there might also be capability to show some footage of Winhanced. So when we get there, we can also do that.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Yes. So go ahead. Yeah.
So we knew this was coming for a while now. They had been hinting at it, and they've been doing a little bit of let's say Hollywood accounting when they talk about the numbers for Xbox. I think in order to justify the business reset, and I'm going to give you an example of that. Right. So they're laying off a bunch of people. They're moving a bunch of studios outside of Xbox ownership, and they are reducing their marketing spend. They're cutting their vendor spend by 50%, and so they're laying off about 20% of the staff, which equates to 3,200 people. I don't know if that 3,200 includes the studios that are leaving. But we do know 1,600 people were let go on Monday, the 6th, that just passed. And there's another 1,600 throughout the upcoming fiscal year, which I would imagine for the workers is just terrible. Just because like every day you go to work, you're kind of in fear. Am I on the list? Right. And that doesn't make for a great working environment, especially if you're in like a creative situation. So, I do feel for all the people there. That being said, the previous leadership, they made several bets, right? And some of the bets paid off, some of them didn't, right? But the picture that Asha Sharma paints is, again, it's a little confusing because she'll say we have 3% margins, which are 3 to 10 times less than our competitors, meaning Sony's at about 9% margins and Nintendo's at about 27% margins, right? That's basically what she's saying, right? So what do margins mean, right? This is how much money you made on the money you spent. Yes? No?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have that sentence. We're at 3% margins. And then in the next sentence, she says, we lost
64 cents to every dollar.
64 cents for every dollar we spent. So wait a minute, did you make 3% or did you lose 64%? Which one is it?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I understand.
Talk about the $80 billion.
Right. I understand that this is new management and they're making a decision to focus on new things. That's okay. And maybe some of the old things don't fit in the new vision. To me, it's okay to say that. You don't have to like fluff things up by saying 3% and then you lost money in the same sentence, right? So they're doing a little bit of funny business, I think, with the
quick interjection.
With the framing.
Like what you're saying there, right there, that tends to be the bulk of my complaint with what's happening now. And maybe I haven't been eloquent enough in my execution, but that part right there that you just said was very important, right? Like you don't need to spin the yarn to get your vision across. And that's what I feel is happening here. Because like, and a lot of folks out in the community, like the people who pay attention to this stuff seem to be taking them at their word because they're saying so. But if you really think about it, it's not quite lining up, right? It's like your and I've said this to you before. This is the best analogy I've been able to use about it. It's like Square Enix before they were getting rid of their Western studios. They kept bad mouthing them, even though nobody saw them the same way, right? Oh, these games suck. Everybody's like, hey, this game was great. It didn't meet our expectations. I'm like, what kind of expectations are you meeting? Like, did you expect them to make like $1 trillion, right? Like, we saw them ahead of time, like preparing to get rid of them, and as such, bad mouthing them to Moneyman or to the public. And I think you and I at the time on this show speculated on that. I feel like some of that is happening here, right? Obviously, it's not all roses and rainbows. No one is saying it is.
Lilac and gooseberries, baby.
It's not. Yeah, it's not lilac and gooseberries. Shout out to my Game of Thrones heads, right? But
that's actually
like,
The Witcher.
The way, oh, it is The Witcher. You're right. Look at me. What am I doing this morning? You're absolutely right. Yeah. But the way they're spinning their yarn makes it seem so drastic. And as you're pointing out there, some of the tail of the tape that they're using to tell that tale does not really add up, and it causes these kind of consternation issues to happen, right?
All right.
So to your point, I really don't think they needed to go that far. They didn't need to. They had enough to just say, hey, here we are, new time, new leadership, new vision, and moved on. Right.
And again, I'm not even saying this to say, well, you should keep the studios on, because at the end of the day, I do think what the outcome is a lot better than we all had feared, right?
Sure.
Like,
absolutely.
Tim Schafer gets to live on and make weird games another day, right? Or, on his own dime now.
Hey man, calm down.
I didn't say anything. I just said he makes weird games.
No, for the record, they weren't planning on actually murdering these people. They were just letting them go. He was going to live on anyway.
Okay, right. But what I'm saying is Double Fine gets to continue to exist. Compulsion gets to continue to exist. And they let them, unlike Sony, they let them go and let them keep their IP and gave them money for runway. That is a net positive. If the decision is made, we're going to focus on bigger IP now because we made a bet that we would be an art house studio making smaller things faster. That didn't pan out, right? Because if you look at the tools that are available right now, those are allowing smaller teams to punch above their weight. And I don't think Xbox's smaller games were competing with what you could get from indie smaller games. So if the question is, should we be in that business, or should we focus on these major IPs that we spent $80 billion on? I don't think that's whether you agree or not, I don't think it's illogical, right? But with the numbers that we're talking about, I just feel like a lot of it is PR spin. I'll give you an example. Yeah. She says we spent $80 billion on acquiring content. Guess what? Yeah. That $80 billion was money you spent on buying an asset, right? Like you bought Activision Blizzard, you bought Bethesda, you bought these studios, and then you're gonna say, but we're losing $500 million. You lost $500 million because Call of Duty underperformed because you put out a dog mess Call of Duty last year. That's why you're $500 million down, not because of these other things. And so, again, I'm not saying that the decision is wrong, but the backing into it with the justification is the thing that just like it feels unnecessary.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like they know that a lot of folks are paying attention here, and obviously there's a lot of emotion to their favorite IPs and this, that, and the third. So they feel like they need to tell a tale, and the tale they're telling is not good enough. So why bother? Like it's full of plot holes. So just don't do that. Don't do that. You know. So yeah. But continue. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah. So and then Aaron says, I would say the outcome is worse than I feared. I feared the studios to be closed. They weren't, but I never expected 3,200 jobs out of it. Not now. This paints a way more way. I think he's saying it paints a worse picture, which I can understand that. And again, I don't want to gloss over people losing their jobs, but at the end of the day, right? If they overinvested, that is the part I do believe, that they were stretched too thin. They had too many initiatives going in too many different directions, and a lot of those initiatives were at odds with each other, right? So if you have to claw things back, like it sucks. It sucks for those people, but if you're running a business, you can't keep people employed only because your parent company is making all the money in the world, right?
That point you make right there dovetails beautifully into something that, and shout out to Aaron who's here. It reminds me, again, we talked about it last time on the show. I will reiterate, please make sure you're checking out the Business of Video Gaming podcast. Those two gentlemen are putting in some very.
I got to catch the latest episode. I know you said there was something good in there. I didn't.
Yes, and I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up right now because Aaron shows up right at the opportune moment, and you're saying that their two businesses are at odds, which tells me you are a man who also thinks quite well, because this is exactly one of the talking points on the show this week on the Business of Video Games podcast. So let's take a moment and have that conversation in this block. But again, go listen to the Business of Video Gaming podcast. It's a great listen. Always, if you like the stuff we do here, introspective, thought-provoking stuff, they are right along the same line. They are far more in the business than we are, so that like their stuff are very, very.
Why don't you just give us a quick pedigree of the folks who actually hosted?
Yeah, so I'll let you dig into it when you watch the show, but both the hosts are tied into the video game industry very, very heavily. One works as in the executive level on Helldivers 2. The other Raw Fury, right? So very, very knowledgeable in the industry, folks. These are the folks that talked about the Game Pass second party deals being frozen, in the recent podcast we were discussing. Business Video Game podcast. Look it up on all your podcasts.
That was the first I'd heard of that news too on that podcast.
Exactly. So look them up. But the reason I bring this up, Everborn, is because you said something very key here. You said they have two businesses that are at odds. Now, please follow me for a quick moment, and we can continue this conversation in the Discord when we all inevitably re-listen to the show, and we can really have more meat on the bones. But on the show, it was proposed that while Asha is talking a big game, she has not really put any meat on the bones as far as what the future of Xbox looks like. And because of that,
I would disagree with that, but I'll let you finish.
And the reason why in the podcast they thought that wasn't done is because he thinks, one of the hosts thinks that Asha is bundling up Xbox's, at least the hardware division, if not the whole thing, to be sold. Okay. Now, why he thinks that, right? That's what brings this up. You said they have two businesses at odds. He says exactly the same thing, right? The more you sell the more you sell your landlord as AI, because everybody says, AI, Satya rather messed up in AI. No, yes, he did in Copilot, but what he didn't mess up in is they are an AI landlord, right? A lot, you've seen AI crop up all over the place, right? But most of those places where that you see AI in your Uber Eats app and in this website and then that website, they don't all have real estate, right? They are basically renting space in the locations where they can house this in the data center. And the main places they do this is AWS and Azure. There are some others on the fringes, but AWS, Azure, and Google are the mainstays, right? So while Copilot is still a dirty word, and rightly so, and Satya didn't really get it right there, all the landlord work they're doing while hosting other AI initiatives is making them a killing. That is why they are like all these folks who already have real estate on the ground are making more and more data centers. We hear this all the time, more data centers, more data centers. And because even though their own initiatives aren't going right, they're housing Uber Eats' initiatives and all these other initiatives within their data center. This is what's driving up the price of RAM and storage and all that. They need more hardware so they can rent it out to businesses that use them. But if that's what you're doing, and on the left-hand side, you're doing that and you're making a killing, right? But what you're doing there also drives up the cost of your consoles exponentially. How can you keep both of them running? Because the left hand is making a killing as far as margins. And then looking at the right hand, and it's choking out the right hand's business, because the more you get real estate on the ground, the more you drive up the cost of consoles. How can both exist? This was the theory on the ground that they were talking about on the show. And that's why they think that she's bundling up at least the hardware division to be sold, because you can't keep both running. One is choking out the other, Everborn. You basically said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, so I think I understand that viewpoint. The part that I was pushing back on is that she hasn't showed a vision. I actually think she showed a very clear vision in that what the focus of them is going to be, and what what you're talking about is something on the console hardware side.
Yes.
Which is a separate conversation that I don't disagree with that thought experiment. But I would say that I do fear for dedicated hardware in general for consumers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think this only affects Xbox. I think it affects Nintendo. I think it affects Apple. I think it affects Sony. And we see it. Like, Sony has had to raise their prices, and they've seen the lowest sales since the year 2000. Right. So that is a problem, and it doesn't seem to be going away. And that, to me, that has the potential of crashing the entire console market, right? So that's one thing aside. Now, I think another way to say what you just said, which is the thought process I had been going down, is Microsoft is not, hear me out, they're not an AI company. They're a cloud company. And AI needs to run on the cloud. And we can talk about all of this spend on cloud, but what that spend on cloud is, as you said, building out data centers. And we can say Copilot hasn't returned on investment, but the data center spend has. For every $1 they spend on that, they're making fivefold. Right. Yeah. So why should I even strive for 20% margins when I can get 100% margins, like double my money building out these data centers?
Exactly.
Right. And when you see their yearly financial results, you're going to see that they made something like $200 billion in profit. It's ridiculous. So the people making the decisions in there are saying, why should I spend more on the gaming division? Although it is their third largest business, believe it or not, only behind cloud and like Office, right? It does bring in more revenue than Windows and Bing, but they've got to find a way to make that business work. And it is right now a $24 billion a year business. I believe they can grow it to $30 billion a year. It's just that there are headwinds now, and like they did have to, I think, scale back in order to get where they're trying to go. Now, here is the thing that I don't. Here are the businesses within Xbox, right? So what you were talking about is Microsoft being at odds with Xbox, the business model.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is business models within Xbox being at odds with each other, right? So if you are going to move away from small studios that can produce smaller games faster, that are eclectic and noteworthy, so that you can fill your service and focus on your high-end IPs and go back to exclusivity with those marquee IPs, how does that work with Game Pass if you're going to pull away from the multi-plat strategy? Now, you guys discuss that for 1 second. There's a important call I got to take real quick, and then I'll come back.
Yeah.
Ponder.
So Soiltech, sir, what are your thoughts?
Initially, that means to me what the exact strategy that they're doing right now is what they're affecting into strategy right now, which means that they are trying to clean up, and I say this with all due respect, all excess fat and slimming down and concentrating on their core IPs and not really concentrating on growing Game Pass, because that was the previous goal of the previous administration. So it seems like she's taking Everborn's advice, looking at it, and it's really interesting. I don't know. We know software. Once you ship a product, then you continue to support that product, right?
Yeah.
That is not necessarily seeming to be happening here. Just to kind of step back a quick second, just the Ubisoft thing. The Barcelona, they let go of 51 people.
Yes.
What happened to the rest of the studio? The whole studio is not closed. The rest of the studio went back, or is now.
I'm back. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. The rest of the studio is working on is it the Tom Clancy game? It's one of those, but that's what the rest of the studio has been.
Oh, wonderful.
And we call that the salt mines, right? You don't get to make your own game.
Well, but you know what? I would see my just a quick correction, at least from my perspective. To me, a salt mine would be a place where you go where you're forced to make constant iterations. It's not quite salt mine territory yet. Give me 2-3 games and continue to force them there.
Are we talking about Obsidian right now?
No. We're talking about. He doubled back. He wanted to quickly discuss Ubi and what after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
After Black Flag was released, they have pushed them to now go to the Tom Clancy. I think it's what was that? The OG Xbox game. I think it's oh darn it. Someone correct me. It's the game where you spend a lot of time sneaking and had great
Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six action. Okay. So yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Just shout out to the biggest garlic 1184. Asha said that Satya hired her to grow the Xbox brand and bring it back to relevance. Every step she's taken so far proved to me that that's exactly what she's trying to do. I don't disagree with that. I do think she's making moves to try to grow the business, and unfortunately, that will require having more of a focus in what studios you have and looking at redundancies. Because another thing, when you talk about that 14 layers of decision makers to get something done, like I can tell you from that's not PR speak. Like I can tell you from people that we know that work there still and have worked there that is very true. So if that is a problem, those are people in those 14 layers. And if you have all these different departments that are doing the same thing or different levels that don't need to be there, that will result in cuts. So we can't, like, as much as, like, on the one hand, because we can have two thoughts in our head. On the one hand, we do empathize with those people, especially in this market, to lose your job in an industry where everybody's letting people off and it's very difficult in the West. And the West coast of the US is where most of the layoffs are happening, because it is most expensive to develop there. It is going to be very difficult for these people, and you have to hope that these people decide to stay in gaming because they're very talented and they could go and do other things, and we don't want to lose that talent within gaming. But again, I am not under any impression that you can keep all these, you can keep people in perpetuity, right? And so that sucks. Now, the question is, can Game Pass exist with high profile exclusivity as well as having any semblance of accountability margins? Can those three things exist together? Because you're saying you're making the cuts because your margins are bad, and then you're saying you're going to go exclusive to bring the brand back.
How do you get your margins up and also get your and keep
and limit your player base
within yourself? Yes.
Right. So I think you have to.
Are you assuming that this leads them down the path where they turn into PlayStation Now?
A lot of what she's doing is like, all right, fine. You guys wanted us to be like PlayStation. We'll be like PlayStation. We'll give you
I see that as well.
Remakes, remasters, and director's cuts. We'll focus on only the biggest things, and we'll be too scared to take chances on smaller things because we're so afraid of being looked at as less than. And so you get more of the same, and milking the same IPs that brought them to fame. And so, but again, the entire audience that talks about this stuff says that that's their problem. They want them to go back to exclusives like Sony. They want them to prioritize the hardware. They want them to, make bangers. Okay, cool.
But that also means you can no longer have that service that kind of redefined what gaming was for a while there.
So
kill that service.
So but back to my original statement. I used to be a real estate broker in a previous life, and there's an old saying there. There are three elements when it comes to any real estate property, right? It is price, location, and renovation. You can only have two.
Yeah.
Right. And that comes back to exclusivity, Game Pass, and margins. You can only have two.
Yeah.
Which one are they going to give up?
Yeah. And oddly enough, if you recall, maybe a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes back, we had this conversation because we were hearing, or we were seeing on X, a lot of reporter types in the gaming putting out polls asking, hey, what would you rather, exclusivity versus day one on Game Pass? And we were like, what the heck is going on here? This was the harbinger of things to come, because that's what's happening here. It seems
no, I just want to push back. This is another idea, right? And I feel like there's an inherent dismissal within the idea that people are not recognized they're saying, right? So Matthew Ball, who is now running strategy at Xbox, says that PlayStation makes more money on subscriptions than Xbox, and they do not offer day and date, right?
Yes.
Now, that's the guy that's running Xbox strategy, but let's leave that out. PlayStation does that on volume, right? I get it. However, people assume that if day one Game Pass is removed, then literally they will lose all 30 million subscribers, right? When the fact is, people on console, a lot of them are subscribing just so that they can get online access, right? And I would just also like to point out, people want them to get rid of the payment for online access and keep day one and not fire anyone, and do exclusives. This is the requirement. This is the ask from a lot of people.
Well,
so
they want them to have the same competitive spirit like PlayStation, but they don't want them to actually do the customer forward looking stuff. That's right, for that PlayStation does, right? They want you to act like them in the marketplace as far as competitive nature to the other to the other competitor, but do it in your consumer forward way that you have been doing. And I don't think all that can exist at the same time.
But again, and coming back to it, Are you only subscribed to Game Pass for the first party exclusives or the indie stuff that they do, right? Are you only subscribed to Game Pass because of day one, right? Some people will tell you yes, but does that mean that are we inherently admitting that the content on the platform, if it were exclusive, is not good enough to keep people? Right? Because that's really what you're saying. If Game Pass day one goes away, and your assumption is that if it does go away, everyone will leave the platform.
Well, no one said that.
And we're saying
I think you're being very
this
definitive. Like everyone will go away. That's
But this is what we hear a lot. We hear it in the Discord. We hear it in some of the chat. And so what I'm saying is, if you believe getting rid of day one will completely kill the platform, and you also know that getting rid of day one is coming at the behest of exclusive games again, then you are admitting that Xbox's IPs are not strong enough to compete in this market. Well, if that is what you believe, then
I don't think it's the day one. I don't think it's an all or nothing thing. I think the folks that are having that complaint are complaining that way because the idea is you're saying you want to grow the platform and you want it to increase and not contrast. But as we know it, what's kept folks there has been a lot of the current offerings within Game Pass. So the idea that you will minimize that and still somehow grow it is at odds, right? That's what it is. It's not to say that, oh, the minute they stop it, now everyone goes away. It's to say that, oh, you consumer want to see this platform you love grow. They say they're trying to make it grow, yay on all counts. But in order to do that, what they're doing is like sacrificing the only last thing that's good on it.
Hold on, but wait a minute. If the service doesn't have Avowed 2 on day one, but it does have Expedition 33, and it does have Silk Song, and it does have Dave the Diver and Slay the Spire, is the service still worthless?
To be fair, those things were facilitated by a huge team of people that made sure they were there. And it seems like those folks are also being gutted, right? Like it's negative news wherever you look. Unfortunately, that I'm speaking to the perception, by the way. It's negative news wherever you look. So I can understand where people can have that point of view, because to your point, they can augment it from a third party, second party view. But we also hear that they've frozen deals, like we talked about last week, and a lot of the ID at Xbox folks, some of which we know, like their positions are spooky. Many of them lost their positions, right? And they were the ones that facilitated the Dave the Divers and all those others in the past. So if all that is happening at once, the confidence level drops that it will continue to be as quality, even from a second or third party perspective, as it used to be. That's what I'm.
That's not what I'm arguing right
as
now.
well. I want to respond to your question, Everborn. I think what you're saying is that if we take out some of the first party and still pack in some of maybe even the third party stuff, will the service be worth it? Because, and then my question is like, are you defining the platform as Xbox or as Game Pass? Because those two things I think have a tangible difference. But this really is for the service of Game Pass, right? And the reason I'm there for Game Pass is for first party day and date. That's really what I want.
But what the fundamental question that I'm asking is, can the platform survive without day and date first party?
Which platform?
Xbox.
And that's why Xbox. Okay. Right. Because that's why I'm saying Game Pass in and of itself is a separate thing. I think Xbox, yes, can survive without Game Pass having first party day and date. Game Pass may not survive without having first party day and date unless it's like $7.99 for the library that's already in there.
Yeah.
Right. And so because I feel like if you believe the whole platform will die without it, and I've heard this a lot, is why I'm bringing it up, then you're of the mind of Great Gamer 9797 who says Xbox gamers can't afford games outside of Game Pass. I don't believe that. right?
No, that's not the case.
Right.
That's not the
Right.
case.
So
Yeah.
so this is what I'm saying. As long as we can acknowledge that they're not gonna have the margins that she's talking about they need, and exclusives and day one Game Pass, then we make the decision. Now, personally, I don't care about the margins. That's her problem. So I hope the two that they go for is exclusives at Game Pass day one. But I'm not the one making that decision. And don't take anything that I'm saying now as an endorsement of losing something that was promised to us, right? If they promised it to you, then you should be on their neck if you lose it. I am only doing the thought experiment of what would happen. So shout out to Pixelbit G, another one of the founding members of GCP. He says, all the clowns say Xbox can't sell consoles, but Xbox never had enough exclusive content to give people to make that push. AA and indie isn't worth $25 a month. Let's be real. I mean, maybe if you're getting rid of, look, hold on, but they got rid of Call of Duty and dropped the price by $7. If you get rid of day one, maybe they do drop it back to $15.
Well, I'm saying if get rid of day one, I want to pay you $7.99 for your back catalog, because I can probably buy all that stuff for like pennies on the dollar
where I push back in saying that may not happen is people don't see it, but they amortize the cost of cloud with all of these subscription services. So, and that's the reason why when they took Call of Duty away, they didn't put it back to the pre-Call of Duty price. It still stayed a little bit higher than it was before Call of Duty was put into it. So if they're removing features, and I agree with Solotech that if you're removing features, then in order to even facilitate to justify it in my head to keep it, you're gonna have to drop the price substantially to where my brain goes, oh, I guess it's still worth it because now I can recalibrate what I think of it from a value perspective, right? But how do you do that while still continuing to amortize the cost of cloud, which everyone needs
you definitely can't drop day one and think you're gonna keep it at $22.99.
Exactly.
People are gonna stay. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. Listen, all of this is just because I want to get Halo off of PlayStation. But anyway, let me say this other thing.
Ulterior motives.
And by the way, Everborn, before I will let you get your bars off. When we are done here, get your bars off. When we're done here, in between the Xbox and Sony end of physical media thing, we will also get some Winhand stuff going on because I got my stuff working.
Yes.
We'll talk about it. So go ahead, sir.
All right. So now the other, in terms of the strategy, and I think we have to be honest here, right? Like there was an idea. Shout out to the Avengers. But there was this idea where what is Nerd saying? Shout out to Pixelbit G, the Debo. You better not show up with some dumb argument. And you better not show up talking about State of Decay 3. But
so much facts in that statement. So much facts in this one statement.
All right. So now we have to be honest, right?
Believe sideways.
When you look at a compulsion and you look at a Double Fine and you look at a Ninja Theory and you look at what Arcane has produced so far, and I don't know if I agree. I think that I don't agree on the Undead Lab things, because I think that they do have something there that they can turn into the next Sea of Thieves level thing, but we'll come, especially if you do a partnership with like The Walking Dead or AMC or whatever. But anyway, the reason those studios were purchased, right, were, even if they didn't like make money on their individual P&Ls of each game, it was to bolster Game Pass in the eyes of the audience, win awards and do those things. And evidenced by the fact that Game Pass stopped growing, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm only saying is whatever metric you had for what those studios needed to do, like Game Pass didn't grow to where they wanted it to grow, and it's not all their fault. Might not be their fault at all, but the point is they were purchased for that and it didn't happen, right? And I'm not saying it didn't happen in a vacuum. I'm just saying it didn't happen, right? So now those studios are making games that have higher budgets than typical indie games of the same sort of caliber. Just because, you know, you're working for Microsoft, you have a high salary, you have benefits, you have all those things. And so they didn't get the critical notoriety that they needed. And when I talk about critical notoriety, I'm talking about Silk Song, Mean the Hollower, Expedition 33, these kind of things, right? So they didn't do that.
To be fair, sir, like the three you discussed are like unicorns above many years.
Yeah, but I could keep naming these things. We could do KCD2.
No.
We could do.
See, KCD2 is not Mean of the Hollower. KCD2 is not Expedition 33 or Baldur's Gate.
Right, but okay, but they didn't even do KCD2.
Like high above. Sure. I guess my criticism here is use the normal games, not the unicorns, to make your argument.
Well, but why? Right, they didn't hit that. If I'm naming those games because they are in Game Pass, and if those games are in Game Pass and you can get them that way, why are you? And by the way, these games ended up being multi-platform as well. So what are they doing for the platform to grow the platform if you cannot stand above the rest? Why should Xbox be in the AA artsy business if they can't compete at the exceptional levels?
But see, that's a thing. That's an argument that can be made once, and it's not a bad argument. I'm not saying
I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it.
It's just a thought experiment.
I'm saying no. I'm saying this Monday morning quarterbacking, which is literally what Asha is doing, because she's coming in after the fact, after these things are made. So now you're looking at it and you ask yourself, should you be?
It's kind of unfair a little bit, because
it's not about fair.
It's
not about being fair.
Let me finish. It's not like they went through multiple cycles where they were is where they wanted to be. A lot of these games that are being judged were either remnants of previous projects that they were agreeing to finish, this, that, and the third. Like, many of them did not clean their slate and go, okay, now this is what we're doing. Many of them are being judged by the thing that they cleaned up before they were going to actually make what they quote unquote said they were going to make, right? So that's why I'm like, yeah, I understand it, but I don't think they got to their final form. So while the judgment while it is what it is, because that's business, it's not quite. I can't quite judge them without that asterisk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is you putting morality and feelings into it, and I'm not saying that in a pejorative way. I'm not saying like. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying you're looking at right and wrong and what should have happened in a just world. And what I'm saying is it's been 8 years. Should they have been given another 8 years?
Yeah. Well,
if not 8, another 5 years? We need to give them a decade?
It's been 8 years stuff. I feel you, but then the question becomes, oh, he got the frog on me. God damn, Umbra got the frog. Anyway,
hey yo,
I get that it's been 8 years, but to me, that is a problem of management and how unrelease cadence.
Management who has largely been replaced, except for Matt Booty for some reason. But my point is, my point is, if you're struggling with what is happening now.
Yeah,
you're coming like with understanding that what I'm saying is these studios were acquired 8 years ago, and the metrics that they were acquired for were not met, and it's not whether it's their fault or not is kind of irrelevant to the point, right? Yes, it sucks. Yes, we can fail for them. No, it is not fair to them. That doesn't mean this wasn't the right decision. Sure.
Right? I get you on that.
And that's really the point that I'm trying to come back to. And so, and you've worked in corporate, and you know that especially if you've been someplace for a long time and you see how systems get built on top of systems without taking a whole relook at your technology stack, because something is in place.
I'm going
and
through
it's
that
working,
right now, actually.
and there's a team that's in place that you don't want to move because you don't want to mess it up. Just build something new on top of that, and then you'll coordinate with them when you really should be taking a top-down view. And that's what it seems as though
we're
is
talking about right
now.
there. That is tech debt right there. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the follies of tech debt in IT, which happens all the time. Absolutely.
So this, it seems as though like there's managerial debt, there's tech debt, and there's all these other things. And so this may mean she's packaging things up because it doesn't make sense for the business, or it could just be they were bloated, they were overextended, the bet that they made didn't pay off, and so now they have to retrench. It could be that.
And by the way, I agree with you that it's not necessarily definitive that way, but I really do think that the argument and the thought process that the Business of Video Games podcast folks were using was really, really intriguing. It is a very interesting through line to make. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because these aren't people that like in general peddle in that kind of talk. So to make that kind of tinfoil kufi theory real quick and using the showing his work and explaining where he was going with it, I thought it was super interesting. So again, shout out Aaron. I see you there, brother. You know, people should check out.
But this is what I was talking about: managerial debt, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, I just think those are two separate conversations. One conversation is the empathetic conversation where we say, this is not right, this is not just, or as a gamer, as a consumer, I don't want to see this. But at the same time, unless you thought everything was going swimmingly at Xbox and they didn't need to make any changes, you know, sometimes you got to break eggs to make an omelet, unfortunately.
Exactly. Yes. But see, but my only problem there is when you're breaking the eggs, you don't need to look through the room of people waiting to eat and say those eggs killed your family. Just break the damn eggs, bro. Break the eggs. Keep it moving.
If you don't understand the reference, it's to earlier where she was trying to make the case with the funny business financial numbers. But at the end of the day, so and again, this doesn't speak to the people that are laid off, but I do feel this was a very ethical way to go about offloading studios that you don't feel like match the portfolio vision anymore. And I don't think it is a wrong decision to decide we're gonna focus, because this is another thing. Allegedly, they're not reducing spend, so they're just gonna divert the money over to focusing on the bigger IPs. And some people call that factories, but like, are the people who make Zelda every time a factory?
Right? Or are the people? But that's a different conversation.
Sure, it's salt mines, whatever you want to call it, right? You know, Halo Studios is a salt mine because they only make Halo.
Yes,
right.
But it is. That's what it is. It is what it is. We have to.
I mean, sure, but you want more Halo, and you complain just like me that there's not enough Halo. So maybe they need them salt mines.
True.
Oops.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
The needle is thread a very difficult way most of the time. You know. Yeah, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah. So Paris says these cuts are brutal, and good people have lost their jobs. That's a fact. But Asha is an outsider with no previous loyalty, so she comes in with fresh set of eyes and decisions made by the numbers. Yeah, right. And she did not make. She did not make the promises that Phil made, and I think that's part of the reason Phil probably retired early, right? We knew he was going to retire, but we think he retired early because he made promises to Tim Schafer. He made promises to Ninja Theory, and for him to go back on that, he made
promises to Todd Howard about his baby. Oh,
right,
boy.
Right. So because he made those promises, I don't think that he wanted to go and do the thing that, or maybe he just couldn't because he was too emotionally invested. You know what I'm saying? So
real quick, Tech, before we finish here, I remember you about the Microsoft block, rather. I remember you were talking about how we should also discuss a bit more about id Tech and the engine and all the news there that happened. So
And
why don't you give us a bit of that as well? I'm sorry, everyone, you were going to finish up.
yeah, I'll let Soil do that. But another thing is, you know, and this goes back to the FUD thing I was talking about. We was told Avowed was shut down, and then come to find out, no, Obsidian still has a team working on Avowed 2, right? So, and we all said, oh my God, everybody loved Fallout New Vegas. Put Obsidian on that because we're tired of waiting on Todd to finish Elder Scrolls 6 to get to Fallout, and now they're putting Obsidian on it. That to me, that's not a factory. That's just logical.
No,
Salt mines.
I don't think that's a factory at all because if they and
they're still working on Avowed allegedly.
The team has expressed interest a long time ago in working on that IP. So, like that's why I think the definition of salt mines needs to be very clear. It's Vicarious Visions finishing up what do you call it? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, a really, really, really great remake. And what did you get? Go to Call of Duty, finish that. That's a salt mine, right? It's not the same thing there, right? That they like asking for and being granted the IP of choice so you can work on. That is not a salt mine. That is being forced to work on something you don't have creativity for. That's what I mean by the salt mine.
And Obsidian, of all studios, the way they are designed is to work on multiple projects. So they can work on Fallout.
Oh yeah,
and they can have their small team on Avowed 2 until it's time to staff up on that.
So
right. So to me, salt mines. I'll say this last thing. On salt mines is if you had a studio that does something completely different, you know they don't want to work on it, but now they got to be in a support studio. That to me is when you're really in the salt mines. But go ahead.
So we have to move forward. Let me if I can put a button on this last thing. The whole salt mines worry there, it brings me allegories and comparisons to the likes of Insomniac, who was one of my favorite studios of all times. They make such great games on many different genres, many different platforms, VR, everywhere. And their success getting them to Spider-Man seems to have locked them into Spider-Man, and that is a worry of mine. Right? I love the studio that's being tapped to make Fallout, but I hope that they're not only becoming Fallout making studio, because that eventually turns them into it sucks creativity out, right? When it becomes just another job rather than your creative outlet. So we hope that's not what happens here.
Well, unless, like I said, they are still working on other things. So if you have a dedicated team within
allow
Obsidian
them to continue
that is
working
dedicated to Fallout, and also I do think we should exclude studios that were built just to make that thing, like a coalition, right?
Sure, they were built for Gears. They are Gears, right? 343 was built for Halo. They are Halo. That's fine. But refining out all of the journeymen inside a multi-dimensional studio only to continue to make them that one thing that you think is successful, that's where I think it's the salt mines. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Halo Studios, have you heard the
we're not gonna move
Rebs
on.
Gaming report?
Yeah. I'm not quite ready to really give voice to that. I think it's a little bit. Let's talk about that in the Discord.
Okay, how about this? Let's save that discussion until after Combat Evolved comes out. Campaign Evolved. And then we'll see the proof in the pudding, because I have thoughts as well, and maybe we'll keep it for the Discord.
Was that a leak? So, Everborn? Are you?
No, it is. You better leak your behind to the Discord, and you'll hear what we're talking about.
You're behind is leaking in Discord. That's terrible. Anyway,
hey yo,
let me.
Oh, did you hear Toys for Bob said that they'd be happy to work on?
We can't. No. Okay, we have too much to go. We have
Banjo. They said they want to work on Banjo. That's it. We can move on.
I'm taking executive decision. We're moving on. So, Player Fly 131 with a $2 super chat. He says Sony had to sell their once dominant Sony TV to TCL. Yes, all kingdoms fall eventually. Sony TVs used to be the dominant force, and it is interesting where they find themselves. It is what it is. Mr. Tube Opinionated with the $2 says, get ready for a year after Get ready for a year after release over day one, bro. I don't know what day one will look like in a year from now. It worries me, but
no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying it's gonna switch from day one to a year after, which Sony doesn't even give you. You don't even know when they're coming.
That's my thing, right? That's my thing. That I think is not a good look for them, because a lot of, while I am there for one reason, like we have all these discussions all the time, other people are there for other reasons. And the more you take away, the more you shave that install base into quarters and quarters and quarters of people who are no longer there for the reason that they were there for, right? Some people are there for day one. The COD folks have already left, right? The folks who are there for diversity will leave when you lose diversity in small content. The people who are there for the indies will leave, right? So little by little by little, instead of growing it like you want to, you start shaving it off, because those people that were there for their reasons are now not seeing reasons to stay. That's the worry, right? But I appreciate that. He continues, Mr. Too Opinionated, with a $2, saying, yes, people are admitting they don't want to buy. I don't think it's quite that straight of a line. I think that, yes, there are people who got used to not having that be part and parcel of the gaming discussion, right? I, for one, really like Game Pass in that when you're having, say, a game showcase, it changed the equation of the mindset of a gamer when you're watching a showcase, because it's not about which one I'm going to have to decide to purchase my hard-earned dollars. Instead, it becomes, oh, we get to play all these, right? Like the fact that it's lost, or it's potentially getting lost, like takes away something that I thought was very unique in game. Right? Obviously, we can buy our games, and many of us can afford it. Some can't. So I appreciate that. But I feel like it's not just, oh, people can't afford their games. There was more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm just of the mind that like it would suck, and they should get all the smoke, because it is a difficult decision, and that's why they should get the smoke. But I do believe they have strong enough IPs to even push above Sony with the IPs that they have if they change the model. I just don't think it's dead without it. That doesn't mean that I'm rooting for them to get rid of it.
Understood. Mr. Two Opinion continues with a 5. And once again, while I'm reading this, thank y'all so much for the super chats and all of that. We really need all the support we can get to head to PAX West, and all of this will assist us in doing so. So shout out to all y'all opinions. You know, we love
get to PAX West.
Stop it. You know, we anyway love talking to the community anyway, but this really does assist us in getting to our destination and helping us do more coverage. So thank y'all so much for the continued support. Mr. Two Opinionated with a 5, saying Game Pass fans and Xbox fans are not always the same people. If Game Pass dies, are you still buying into the platform and games? Ask yourself. Hey, that is a question, right? That is a question. Like I said, not everyone is there for the same thing, right? So if you are trying to grow your business, you might need to understand that. Now, it may be a question of saying, hey, if you're not there to grow our platform and you're just there for Game Pass, maybe we don't want you as a consumer anymore. Who knows? These are the questions that you know, the back and forth of the debate. But yeah, I appreciate you, bro. So Mr. Hollywood Rules with a $2, he says, hey, dope idea. Xbox gamers don't buy games is BS. True. It is true. I really do think that Xbox gamers do definitely buy games, right? Even when Game Pass became a thing and people were buying games, joining Game Pass, it then ended up where DLC started going up, because now you have money to buy extra DLC, and people were doing that a lot, right? The deluxe editions and all of that. So the Briscoe Kid with a $5, he says Xbox Future the Xbox Future prevent people from buying buying console only games. It has to be play anywhere. Yeah, but see that instance, that part of it, I feel like they are unique in that they can tie their hands around Windows in a unique way than anyone else can. So it's not like they're giving it's not like they're losing to console to PC. They're basically just embracing their other platform. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a different. It's not quite the same as maybe what Sony would do or what Nintendo eventually, I think, we'll be doing, you know. And then finally, with a $10 super chat, the great JD Gamer joins us, and he says, "I just can't stand all these fake FUD journos that were on full of fire over ID with the fake reports that they were basically closed, and now they're just going to go on like they never said it. Fake news sites." Hey man,
well,
name and
hold
shame,
on,
sir.
hey,
Name and
JD,
shame.
it don't stop there, because we was told before Monday that Ninja Theory definitively got the call that they was shut down. You remember that?
Yep, I do
Right?
recall. I do
And
recall.
then we completely backed away from the fact that Ninja Theory was not getting shut down. And then, if that wasn't enough, then they told you, oh, State of Decay 3 might not come out because they're looking at closing down Undead Labs. Turns out, no, they're going to be under new management. Right? We got told that Compulsion and Double Fine was getting shut down. No, they gave them back to the owners with their IP. Right? We got told that Avowed was canceled. No, they're still working on it. And every time one of these rumors come up, even the Xbox fans just run with it because they're so used to being beat up, like they're a battered husband or wife.
Keep going. I'm gonna,
right. Every time you just let somebody else set the narrative for you, and then you just run with it with the doom and gloom. So the Xbox tax, this is what a lot of the Xbox community don't want to acknowledge. The Xbox tax, a lot of the times, the call is coming from inside the house. Right? People like grifters are gonna grift. It is up to you if you're gonna give credence to things before you have actual confirmation on things.
So
right?
Everborn Saga.
Go ahead.
Forgive me. I have returned. The reason why my connection is going back and forth is because I'm having a hard time keeping this connected. So we're gonna have to get to it real quick before.
No, that's fine. I can just switch to my top-down camera and show it right on the thing. You don't got to do the screen share. That's
but also I think a combination of both helps, so people see what's what. So you can see like what.
Yes.
You can show your top down, and I'll show this as well. I feel like we should do like a proper test of the situation. I feel like people it will help crystallize the understanding of why this is as important as it is. So let's move to that real quick because we're on 2 hours and X amount of minutes.
Yep.
Let's really do that, and then we'll talk about the main story, which is physical media, which I think really deserves some attention as well.
All right. So I'll end right there.
If you would, yeah, please give the last word.
Yeah. So my point is, I'm not saying you got to take whatever corporals tell you and just run with it because that's your favorite brand. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how about you use your own brain and you before you react one way or the other, you wait for multiple credible sources and make sure that the information being reported to you is actually fact and not something that is a regurgitated rumor from some random forum site. Right?
I will.
You
let us move
just
on.
wait for the facts to come out. That's all I'm saying before we just take everything and run with it, and letting people who don't like the platform that you like, you're going to let them set the tone and frame every story. Anyway.
All right. So I'm going to put this on the stage. I'm gonna see if I can make this big. Hold on here, if I can make it happen. So what you're looking at here, and I will let Mr. Everborn Saga also share his screen and show like some of the ups and downs of this. But the reason why we want to show this is because there's a new player in town, and it's so good that I think Everborn, you would agree that even like those of us who don't necessarily like to tweak and twerk with hardware and software and all that can really benefit from it. So quickly, let me show you what's going on here, and then I'll let Everborn Saga also jump in as well. What you're seeing here on my screen is the UI UX, the Xbox UI UX. When you boot it up, this is what you see when you have like your Xbox Ally X, right? So those who've been talking about, hey, I have an Ally X, but I'm gonna get there. Give me a moment. And when you say you have an Ally X, like this is what you see as soon as you boot it up, right? What you see on the top here is these are the games I've been playing. As I said, shout out to Ascend to Zero. Play more of that. I've also been getting into Control, replaying that because I'm waiting for Resident, right? So I've been really like getting into that. This is what it looks like when you get into the Xbox UI, and of course, as Everborn Saga can attest, all these games here, right? Also, Echo Generations 2. You'll see something that's unique here, right? The games I've installed. If it's an Xbox game, it represents it properly. If it's a Steam game, not quite so much, because I don't like going in and always going in to clean up the posters with third-party tools. So it ends up looking kind of like this. It's fine, right? So let's quickly do this, and then we'll switch it up. Watch this. So this is me inside the Xbox app playing a Steam game, right? So you hit the button, it says it's loading, right? One of the things, it'll pop up, and then boom, you're in the game and you're playing your Steam game, right? I'm gonna pop it up here. This is what it looks like. We're not even gonna spend any time playing the game. I'm just letting you see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like when you're starting a Steam game, right? So I'm gonna close this thing out, and then we're gonna get into like, well, actually, let me let the thing load first. Then we're gonna get into, well, there you go. Get into why we feel this is very much needs some work. As you see, look, this is how it looks when you load into Steam, right? This is when you load into the Xbox UI. This is what it looks like, right? So now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go to, and I'm going to even close Steam and go to Winhanced. This is Winhanced. So what Winhanced is basically a UI UX that someone else has created. Somebody else, like a new user, and we've talked about this in the past. Now I just shut it down. I'm going to restart it, right? Just to show you what it looks like. Boom, it pops up. This is what it looks like when it shows up for the first time. When a new user, somebody who purported to got tired of waiting for Xbox to jump into the fray and build this and fix the problem, they built this to basically resolve their issues with the UI, right? So as you can see, they've done such good work that it actually gives you a totally different look when you're in that environment. And it also works with FSC, as you can see, right? So let me let Everborn Saga jump in. Or actually, you know what? Before I even do that, let me boot a game real quick, just like I did on the other side. So take a look, right? Just like I was doing on the Xbox side, right? These also have the Xbox games, the Steam games, all those games represented. If you go under library, you can see all of my games, right? From all of the various libraries that I have games, right? But as you can see, some games are grayed out because they're not installed. The ones that are not are installed, right? So quickly, I booted up Control. Let's boot it up again, this time from this UI, right? So this is what it looks like when you boot up from this UI. Same thing like before. It will boot up its UI, but this is what it looks like this when it's booting up. It says launching, right? It's literally putting the game in a cartridge. And then it boots up the game. And the reason why it hasn't booted up the game is because I have been playing this game on multiple places. So it's not doing the synchronizing of the library of the saves so quick. But needless to say, that's how it boots into it. So as you can see, like, unlike the Xbox UI, it has come a long way, this thing, to really actually shine and kind of give you a reason to potentially remove or not go with the Xbox UI and instead go with them in a very real way, like a very real way. I know you, Everborn, generally don't tweak and twerk with UIs like I do, but even you, I think, agree that they've turned a corner here. So I'll put yours on the stage, and you can show us what you wanted to show us as well.
All right. So all the stuff Kay said. Kay's setup is a little bit more complicated because he's a tweaker and twerker.
Hey,
so I got my setup a little bit more default out of the box.
Yep.
So just turning it on, right?
Yep. There you go.
Same UI. Now, this is Elliot that I've been playing. Now I can play this game. You can see I got like 17 hours in it. But what this also does is it brings in, if I can get to it, it brings in the time to beat. If you want to mainline it, if you're a completionist, so you have that like metadata.
Even the
for
achievements and stuff, and stuff are represented there as well. Yeah.
Now, as Kay was saying, if I want to go to my library, I can see I've got 398 games on Steam. Not all of them are installed. And if I go to one that isn't installed, let's say if I like 28XX, I can actually install this right from here without having to go out to the Steam.
I have the same game. Look at me.
Right.
So that's right.
So now you can see I'm installing the game. I've never had to go out to Steam. If I want to, you see, the only thing running is WinHands. It doesn't bring up Steam in the background.
As you see, I'm installing it as well, by the way. See, you see the line just going from left to right. You're doing it in your hands. I'm doing it in the UI. Same exact situation, just installing the game.
Right now,
and it will stay inside the UI. You won't be kicked to anything. And by the way, you're installing yours via Steam. I'm installing mine via Epic Games, and it's seamless. No one knows any different.
So everything is a first-class citizen. Now we're in my Xbox library where I've got my games, which I guess I have 44 Play Anywhere games, and then I can also look at the Game Pass library, and I can just pick a game and play. Well, that's replace, which I already have, but so let's say this one here, I can install As Dusk Falls right from Game Pass. Right. Now here, and you can do xCloud and you can do PC streaming. Obviously, it also has this news feed here. So this one's Doom. If I want to learn about Doom, it'll bring up the browser so I can read. I can read about that and scroll through it with the controller. I have this on this handheld and my PC that's connected to the TV so that I have a unified experience. My internet's kind of slow at the moment. That's why it's taking a while to load.
I have this on my MSI Claw as well as this handheld as well as your the same Ally X that you have right now. That's so basically what you're showing on your screen. Like in your hands is what I have on my screen as well, same exact device, but I also have it on the Claw. And speak to the updates that it provides as far as well.
Right. So now we talked about the library, we talked about the launch experience, which I do want to show you. Like Kay's launch experience brought up Steam. Let me just show you.
It's because mine has synchronizations because I'm playing it between two different handhelds, but yours does not have that problem. So
this is what happens if you launch something vanilla. Right. Well, I don't want to update that, but I could update it. But we will.
Well, launch the 20
game we just downloaded. Right. Yes. So we're gonna play this.
I have the same thing. Yes. Look. Right. And this is not in Steam on mine. See, his is booting Steam, and then it shows the thing plugging in the console or whatever. Mine is now booting up Epic in the background. You didn't even see that, and then booted up the game. Now, of course, it's Epic, so it's gonna want me to log in. This is the problem with Epic, right? If it wasn't that, or if I had already logged into Epic, because this is the first time I'm booting this game, it would have just continued in game, no problem whatsoever. But since it hadn't ever booted up before, it'll first time want you to log in. This is the problem.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and the UI is looking a little funky on my screen here. It looks better on my screen, but this thing is a little funky. But anyway, continue. Yeah. Right, are you in your game yet?
We're getting there because I just downloaded it, so it's being funny. But there we go. All right, so we're here.
I'll boot it again and show it to you. This time it won't launch the Epic because I've already logged in. So there you go.
Right.
Hey, look, we're synchronized.
Now, the other thing that I want to show, this is important. I'll let you show that game, but we'll get out of this.
Yeah.
And we'll come back here. Right. So now we're back in the UI. And again, I just want to point out there's no Steam. There's no Xbox app in the background.
Yeah, nothing. Now it is running. It is running,
right, but it's running
not
as a service
like,
in the background.
yeah,
It's not
in the background. That's right.
So now
Yeah.
also you see the background changes when you select
Mhm.
games. Now here's the big thing, right? So we haven't had to jump out to another app yet, but you may be wondering, how do you get games on the device?
Yeah.
They've now added store functionality.
Yep.
So now I can browse. These are all the games from all the stores from the apps that I'm signed into.
Mhm.
And for example, let's just go look at Forza Horizon 6, right? I can purchase this game, but before I do, I can compare the prices, right?
Yep.
So now I can say, okay, it's on Steam for $69.99, or it's on Xbox, or it's available in PC Game Pass, which it knows that I have, so I can install.
It tends to put the cheapest on top. So it's like, and in mine, because yours, like you said, yours is configured a little differently than mine. Mine has the Steam store, obviously, the Xbox store, obviously. Mine has GOG, mine has Epic. Everywhere there's a store, it aggregates all of the prices. So if in any of those stores it's cheaper, that's the one you see, even though you can pick from any store you want, right? Like, it's treating them all as the same first class citizen and just giving you, the user, the cheapest price available. And wherever store it is, it doesn't matter, because it all runs first class citizen on this UI. You know, it's pretty good.
And so this, listen, I'm gonna say it, man. This is what we were hoping the Xbox mode that Microsoft was working on would be. It's here. It's happening now. By the way, for those on handheld, there are also game bar plugins that would that
manage
allow
TDP
you
control.
Right.
And all this other
You
stuff.
can it can dynamically choose TDP, and it has enhanced sleep wake functionality. So when I play a game on this thing, I just treat it like a switch. I just hit the power button at the top and come back to it.
The Duck of Death, beautiful handle, by the way. It says, looks interesting, but does it actually afford me an ROG? Practically speaking, the interface looks similar.
Well, what does it actually afford me?
What does it afford me?
So I can answer this. If you only are using your ROG to game on Steam, then maybe just stay in big picture mode. But this,
no, I disagree. Because what it can afford you on ROG that you want better than big picture is updates. You never have to leave this UI. It will literally find all of your updates and install them for you in this UI. You never leave it. You never have to go to Windows Store. You never have to go to the Armory Crate. Never have to.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Look, like, and it updates itself as far as WinHense, but it also goes in under the driver updates and finds your specific fingerprint drivers, your Realtek card reader drivers, every driver set that you would otherwise have to go back into ASUS's thing in order to install. This handles them all right here. And what's even crazier,
so system updates is what you're talking about.
Yes, all of the system updates that forced you to go to Armory Crate, because not everything. Remember, we were having that discussion, like, some of it is handled by Armory Crate, some of it is handled by Windows or whatever. This takes the place of all of that, right? And what's even wilder is it's detected that this is the ROG Ally, so it's going and finding you all those ROG Ally drivers. When I installed this on the MSI Claw, it did the same thing, but specifically for the Claw. They are handling it on a case-by-case basis and giving you specifically what you need, so you never leave this UI.
I didn't even know that, because I since I got this, I only started using it maybe a week and a half ago, so I haven't had any driver updates since then. But the other thing the other thing that I was going to say to the person that asked that question, this treats every app store, every launcher like it is like in big picture mode. First class citizen. So you get that experience across all, instead of having to jump back between the Xbox app and GOG and the Epic store. So to me, that in and of itself is the value, on top of the enhanced TDP
and by the way,
and sleep wake functionality.
I'm not sure if you use this, Everborn, as well, but in addition to your own solid games that you can download and install here, You can also
you can add
like
apps and games. Yes,
you can have it connect to your PlayStation and literally stream PlayStation games from your console directly on the screen and handle them also like first class citizens. You can have it connect to your GeForce Now account and also have it stream it in like a first class citizen. Oh, got emulation.
Same thing with Steam, right? You can stream it.
That's right. But if you got emulation, you got like you know, apps that you use. All of them are treated exactly the same way here. This thing is really cool. I'm hoping to talk to the dev and see if we can get him on the show and really like delve deep into what his reasons is and why he chose to do this. As you see on the friends part, we haven't really even dug about the friends part. It connects to every place, every connection point, or every social media that has a chat and a friend, you know, communication medium, and aggregates them together. So in this device, I have Steam, I have Xbox, I have PlayStation, and I even have Discord, all aggregated, right? I feel like they should do a bit more in maybe starting and connecting to friends in here. But the fact that all of them are represented in one place is kind of wild. I don't think any app is available that does all that for you. It's very cool what they've done.
I think in terms of performance of the app, I think it performs just as well, if not better, than the Xbox PC app.
Yep.
In terms,
they do a bit. They do a bit more to clean up the seams. You know, like where on the Xbox app you're just like, oh well, there's some jank that needs to be worked out. Eventually they'll fix it. Like here, they go the extra mile to put the little animation logo when a game is loading, so you don't see any kind of cruft in the front. You know. They're doing extra stuff like that. Now,
and the Discord and Steam friend integration is better than the Xbox integration. They're going to have to fix that because for Xbox, you just get a list of random numbers. But for Steam and Discord, you have the real stuff and you can invite to a party and do those things. So
before we move on and talk about our final topic, because we've spent a little bit of time on this, I have to ask you this question, because I've asked you this question before in the past and you push back on me, right? I'm asking you this on this. Is this worth Boomstick going to download and trying to install?
At this point, with the 9.9.1 update, I would say yes.
So this, I think, and for those who want to understand this, what I mean by that is our buddy, Mr. Boomstick Excel, he's not a technologist like that. He loves his games. He picks up his Xbox Ally and he's just playing, right? So he may not be one who will spend too much time tweaking and twerking and trying to figure things out. Give me 1 second, Kay.
You hold down for a second.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. He may not be one that goes tweaking and twerking and trying to figure things out. So if this passes the Boomstick barometer where the brother can just install it and just start playing, then maybe it's ready for anyone to just install it and start playing, right? So, and as you can see, it takes over your FSE, right? It takes over what Microsoft already does. So when you boot it up, you see it just like you would the Xbox app, right? It replaces that. So there is a chance that, you know, right now, if you're having issues with the Xbox app, and they're also working on it, and they're doing their best, but I really truly believe that this thing is ready for prime time now.
And I do want to show you one thing. So when we say ready for prime time, what I'm going to do now, by the way, no matter where you are in the app, you can't get lost. You just have to press B. It'll take you right back to the main.
It'll take you back to
screen,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, it also remaps your buttons. So now my library button.
So none of the buttons will open Armor Crate anymore. It'll all be within this app. Yeah.
Now, what I want to show you guys is when we say like it's a full featured experience, I am just going to restart the device. And I want you to see what happens. There's no edits, no cuts.
Okay, I'm going to restart it as well. Hopefully it works on mine as well. We'll see, because I'm connected to an external webcam, so we'll see if it connects up. But yeah, this is supposed to be the best representative of what is considered a console, right? Console mode, if you will. So this is what is this is what happens.
This is your out of box experience. So if this is why this is my Boom test to see if this is something he could mess with.
Yep.
Especially now that you're telling me like he can do the system updates where he doesn't have to jump from app to app.
He doesn't nothing.
So
nothing.
We're in. I'm just unlocking with the fingerprint or whatever.
Yep. Me too. I did the same thing. It'll take a minute. There you go. But see, as you see, there's mine.
Right, and it's taking pictures from your library.
Yes,
to show.
These are all photos of my library in the background, right? And it literally this is its startup.
This is the start. Right, we just restarted the computer.
Yes.
Now we're in, right? And so,
and there you are.
And again, look at this.
You're right.
There's
back
nothing else running.
Exactly.
It's just this.
Yeah. There's no and shout out to the great Pixel Big G with his question. There is no Windows authentication. Yes, there technically is, because
fingerprint. You're doing it with the fingerprint.
It's not a fingerprint, then it may require it. But even there's like an auto authent that you can download and install, and then it'll just boom, like kick you right into your front end UI if you so choose. But of course, that's a security concern if you are still using it like a PC. So it's a choice to turn on if you want.
This is my wholehearted endorsement of the console experience on handheld is here, and it comes in the form of
WinHanced. Yes, we agree.
You don't lose anything. You get all your PC. You're not siloed to one interface. You're not siloed to one store. It puts it all together for you. Handles updates. This thing legitimately feels like a console now.
Yep.
And like I said, this is my daily driver. I'm running it on the Xbox Ally as well as the 4090 that's connected to my TV.
Yeah. So for folks who want to try it, you don't need to be on an ROG device to try it. If you are on an ROG device or the MSI Claw, you get the benefit of drivers, right? They'll do that for you. But as I understand it, they're going to systematically go through and make it available full featured for all the popular handhelds. So even like your Legion Go, any of the old handhelds you got, this is basically to solve the problem of controller forward UI UX on any Windows handheld, So
this is,
if you happen to have the ROG handhelds, then you also get some extra benefits because those devs are working on it to make it really shine. So it's really, really cool. Pixel, so I know you have the ROG. I know you have the MSI Claw. Give this a shot on your Claw. I think you'd be impressed.
One thing I want to say is I like Pixel because I don't know when he installed it. I installed it before, used it for a day, and uninstalled it because it wasn't ready for prime time. It is these recent updates that bring it to where it's reliable, it's fast, it's fluid. Like it literally just works.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I think I endorse this thing as well. I will ask once again, if you guys are interested in more content like this, let us know in the comments and in the DMs and whatnot. I want to get as Everborn was saying, I tend to keep an eye on this kind of in this part of the games PC section, right? And there's a lot of these. Like the competition is heating up. The WinHanced team is doing really good work.
At the moment, I'm going to argue this is the best one, but only at the moment.
But you only have.
Here we go. Here we come to the waters. He's going to tell you like 5 of them.
Hey, there are many out there, and some of them are very close to this as well. I agree with you that this actually pulls out ahead, but I would say Claw Deck is also very good. And I spoke to the developer I think a week ago. He also has put up a lot of really good updates as well. I just love that the competition here is heating up, and each of them are pushing further and further into quality and QA and all that stuff, right? And they all have you in mind, Everborn. You don't even have to know what a TDP is. It'll auto do everything. Just you jump in, boot it up, and you're playing. So this is very cool. Shout out to the folks working on it. If you want to continue this conversation with us, head into our Discord, because we have a section literally dedicated to this kind of talk. I think we should leave the BC 250 talk for next week because we're running a little long and we want to get into the last talk of the day. But I know it's like you're busy.
Before we move on, I just want to say for all of our listeners who are following along with this last conversation regarding WinHanced, it is WinHanced
Not Winhance. Winhance with a D.
Not
Yeah,
Winhance, just like Everborn is saying, because I was following along. I actually ended up downloading and installing Winhance, and I was like, wait, this does not look like a. I mean, Winhance does seem to be like a really good application, anyways. But
Winhance de-bloats Windows, right? Like, as if I remember it correctly, because I also downloaded it by mistake a few months back.
Yes. So forgive me. I should have put it's Winhanced with an ED exactly. So please, yes.
This is the other thing. As I said, I treat this like I would treat my Switch now since using this. I was playing Adventures of Elliot all week. I haven't played it in 2 days. 2 days ago when I played it, I was at 64% battery life. This morning when I looked right before the show, I was at 62% battery life. Game's on pause. I just pressed power, walked away, came back to it.
They've been incorporating a lot of really interesting features that lots of the community members have been like pioneering. Like so, and it like all of them have been doing this. It's really, really cool where they have like what do they call it? Enhanced sleep features, so that it doesn't like pop up and wake up and kill your battery while you're using it. You know, anybody that's using
or it's
Windows
in your bag or whatever.
Exactly. It's funny you say this. The other launchers call it, what do they call it? Hot bag mode, where you can like it turns off hot bag mode. So it's very cool.
Let me just be slightly slanderous.
Okay. And we'll close
How
this off.
Can a small team or a single guy do? I know he started out by himself, but I think he has a few people helping him.
He has a few people now. Yeah.
How can this small team make something so all-encompassing while we have been waiting years now? I know there's improvements on the Xbox app side, but if you go back and show the Xbox PC app, why does that take so long and this is moving at the pace that this moves?
Yep. And you saw what we showed you there. This is the Xbox app still to this day. All right. This is what this looks like. And I think we can all agree that it's time, man. It's time. And hopefully
where's the sense of urgency on the Xbox PC app team?
Yeah, like look at this. Control represented here, right? This is control, right? You want to pop in. This is control represented here, and now switch. This is control represented here. Look at that,
right? Like,
look at the difference.
Small team, $1 trillion company.
Small team, you know what I mean? Like, and oh, by the way, that one has like ability to see right from the UI UX all of the achievements. Which, by the way, this is being pulled in.
Shout out to Zach Riley. He says 14 layers of management is probably why. Listen, you might not be wrong, Zach.
That might be the tweet of the day, bro. That might be the message of the day. Wow.
I love it.
Cold-blooded, sir. Well
Get him.
So yes, we'll stop glazing Winhance, but what we'll say is if you've been like Everborn and a few of us going, yeah, we hear you. There's some cool stuff being made, but we'll wait for it to come to 1.0. We'll wait for it to be usable by all. We're saying, and I think Everborn even agrees, this one is ready. This one is ready. Yeah. So, give it a shot. Join our Discord, discord.gg/TGCP. If you do run into any kind of pitfalls, any kind of weirdness, we're always there to talk about it and work with you. I've actually spoken to the dev of this tool, so we can. I'm hoping to get him on the show one of these days to talk more in depth about it. But yeah, man, this is really cool, and I'm hoping that this is a call out to be like, let's stop cursing the darkness, as it were, when it comes to these handheld UIs and whatnot, and turn on a light, install Winhance real quick and see what you get. You know what I mean? You might actually be impressed. So let me catch up on the 4 of these super chats, and then we'll get to our final story and get the heck out of here. Once again, shout out to all the great people who are continuing to support, both in membership and in super chat. As we've said throughout the show, we're trying to level up. We're reaching further. We're going to go to PAX. We're going to go to all these other locations, and all of your financial investment, your financial support helps us to defray the costs of all these flights that we're going to be taking some of the equipment we're going to be needing to purchase, all that stuff. So thank you continuously. Thank you so much for all of your help. Max City Entertainment is here. He's been a member for 12 months, brother. We appreciate you. He says fanboys have ruined the best thing in gaming ever. This is my fear. I think he means Game Pass, and this is my fear, that fanboyism, which it's not all that's there. I agree with that, right? I know some people will come for me and say it's not only the fanboys are upset. I get you, but I feel like some poisoning of the well has happened, and I apologize. It is what it is. But I appreciate his super chat, and I agree with him. He continues with a $5. Says F Asha. Oh, calm down there, sir. I don't agree with anything she has done. Her and the fanboys have killed the most amazing deal for us gamers we ever had in gaming for exclusivity. Lame. See, like, I don't blame her because she has no skin in this game, right? I don't blame her. She was brought in to do a thing. She's gonna do the thing she was brought in to do. And it's not like it's a vindictive thing. It's not like it's a malicious thing. She has no prior knowledge or prior history to this. She doesn't know why id Tech is valuable or worthy. Obviously it's for her advisors to advise her and keep her on the up and up, right? To make the best decision possible. But you can't blame her because she has no skin in this game. She didn't make you any promises, right? As Everborn Saga said, she didn't make us any promise. So she's here to look at the numbers and just make the decision cold and hard. It's pause. It is what it is. But yeah, I feel the energy though. I do appreciate, a lot of people distraught by some of the news coming out. Mr. Two Opinionated with a 5, talking about asking why can small entities beat Microsoft in the UI development? Do they need cuts as well? Maybe that's why. Maybe they got enough cuts. Maybe the cuts are the reason why they've
I should just cut 40% of the platform team.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. And then the man himself, another great member of our community, Poppy Senpai in here, Big Poppy. He's in here with a $2 super chat. He says, Kay, look up a game called Silver Pines. You might like it. Okay, very cool. I will check it out. Silver Pines, it's on the list. All right, very cool. Thank you for being here, by the way. He's one of the recent members that is always frequenting our Discord in the voice chat. You too should be doing that. And that is at discord.gg/the Gaming Circle Podcast, TGCP. We always enjoy our conversations there. That's where GCP, the podcast, continues all week long. Soil Tech being our mod, as well as a few others out there doing very interesting, great work for us. So thank you all so much for the continued support. Let's get into the news story proper, which is the talk of physical media finally transitioning. And becoming an afterthought or what people think of it, right? The news that came out of Sony recently talking about in 2027, I think it is. Is it 27 or 28, gentlemen?
28.
They will be 28. Thank you. They will be like sunsetting all physical media, right? So that means even on your PlayStation 5, your disc drive will basically no longer get new games because they will not be putting games out. To allow for those disk drives to be used, and it's caused a bit of a firestorm on the internet.
There's
and
a minor
social
correction.
Media. Oh, okay.
They've said that if your game, to the developers, if your game comes out before that date, then you can order more copies after the cutoff. Okay. So long as your game has come out
that come out after that date that will not be susceptible to that. That after that date, the program of game discs will be closed. So if you release your game before that time, you can continue to release discs
order more discs.
Your cycle is done.
There's a retaining capacity for that.
Okay, yeah. So before we get into it, right? I will, and there are many ramifications to this, and we're going to try to keep this as concise as we can as we're heading 3 hours. I will give you my quick preamble and just get it all out of the way. I really do think this is a fight that we lost before we started. I think that this is unfortunately one of those instances where the consumer, whether rightly or wrongly, has been kind of misinformed long enough to where when the battle really started, they didn't know, right? I feel like ultimately, and I'll let my partners here get in on it, on this conversation. I feel like ultimately the conversation around Forever Physical right, is a conversation of
Hey,
ownership.
I'm sorry, Kay. I'm gonna let Soil mostly handle this one because I've talked enough.
Okay, understood. No worries. I feel like this conversation around this, when the forever physical movement, right? You know, you hear the quote unquote forever physical movement, and I kind of and forgive the political comparisons. To me, the forever physical movement is just like when they had the conversation of global warming versus climate change. The verbiage used counteracted the actual essence of what's being discussed here, which I feel is ownership, right? And being stuck on the physical item or the physical as the manifestation of what people think of, right? Hey, I own this disc, it's mine. Kind of belayed the point to the real point that people should have been fighting on, which is you don't own that physical thing, right? Even though it's in a physical form, it's a license that you don't have any rights to. You just have a license to continue to own this thing. And I feel like because people got so stuck on the physical aspect of that device or that disc or that cartridge, when the ownership conversation moved on, we just let it move on. And now that they're finally closing up the actual physical disc, now people are catching up, but we're a little too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, Soltech, I'll let you really like go in on this. I know you have a lot of experience as far as the legal and aspects of it. Please correct any of my misstatements or mischaracterizations on this. I really feel like the and you know what I mean when I say the essence of GOG is what folks should have been standing on. And had that been established, even when physical goes away and the next physical media show, because we always will need some kind of physical thing, we would have been all right because we had the GOG model. And since the GOG model wasn't identified, we've kind of lost it and we may be too late. Am I wrong here, Soltech? And please go for it.
Yeah, just real quick, a little bit of housekeeping.
Hey, look at this man. Oh, there he is. He got it. He is, of all of us, he's the one representing that GCP correctly. Good job, sir. and so, by the way, tell the people where they can get that. Tell the people where they can find
I let Everborn plug this one if he's still here, but at the expense, everbornsaga.com, please.
There's
it's running on the bottom there.
Right on the top of the website, you can get to the GCP merch section. And it has all the GCP stuff, including the memes. We got to update those memes because we got some memes in the Discord that we're gonna make into t-shirts that you can wear. So everbornsaga.com, and if you use code GCP at checkout, you get 15% off.
Hey, we appreciate you representing, but yes, set it off, sir.
So okay, here we go. I'm gonna turn the camera off. So here's the thing, right? The argument is framed as discs and physical media, and for me, that's not really the argument. We're arguing whether the digital economy should continue replacing ownership with permission, right? What we're looking at here is that there's a whole paradigm shift, and this all started the way property works is that you have an exclusive right to this property, and all of these property rights divide from actually owning real property, and they consist of a bundle of rights, right? Like the right to own this, right to exclude others from this, the right to sell this, lend this, give it away, and the exclusive right to be able to do that, and amongst a couple of other rights. So those rights as a bundle become very powerful. Right. That has transitioned onto intellectual property, meaning property that we come up with that's not actually real tangible, something that I can give to you, but it's an idea, it's an intellectual property. And intellectual property generally, because it's been realized that is a thing that needs to be owned, it needs to have that bundle of rights so you can transfer it over. My argument is that what has happened in the last 20 years is that this concept of us getting this physical property, right? And note, getting us this physical property, and this is where I'm going to disagree with you, Kay, is that when we get that physical property, we actually own that piece of property. Us getting that physical property is not a license. Us getting the digital property, that is in the form of a license. Because the physical property, and stop me if I'm getting too heady, right? It's protected by copyright law under the first sale doctrine. If you buy a copyright and you have it, you can sell that, you can lend that, you can give it away. So what's happened here is this industry-wide movement towards shifting that property right to a license to have access to.
Yeah, let me, and I agree with you on the pushback. Let me correct or fill in some gaps for what I'm saying real quick, so that you understand where I'm coming from. The reason I said it the way I did was, I agree with you that the physical thing is what you own, right? But people were so focused on that physical thing representing their ownership that when it changed to just a hex key on that physical thing, as long as that physical thing existed, they thought that that's all they needed, right? So, oh, I still own this game. It's still mine, but the game may have gone gold, but maybe one of the levels are on. And it has a requirement to check in when you first boot it up. So even though you own that physical thing and it's in your hand and it's a Frisbee and you can throw it and it's in your library and it's shiny and it's there, as soon as the vendor moves away from that and all those requirements that are still there continue to be there, you no longer own that thing, even though it's a physical thing. So that's why in my brain, like I've always said, that because the content itself can be malleable that way, we should be focused on the actual ownership of the content rather than the physical disc is being printed on, because they can play fast and loose with that, and they have. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's the gravamen of my argument, is that they have transitioned this physical ownership of this, because when you got these discs, the whole game was on the disc. Now we've seen that they're putting key codes, hex codes on the disc, and that's like a way of, it's a game key card, right, or game key disc or whatever. So it's still a way of you getting access to that. If you have it, you're still entitled to that that property. Now, for me, where it gets murky is when you get rid of that physical manifestation, which allows you to own it, and it becomes transferred as a digital right. And here's the distinction: to access it. And the reason I say that is because the folks who hold the database, right, who hold all of the where you're going to download it from, they can terminate your right to access it
anytime they want. Anytime they want. Yes.
You have the disc.
Absolutely.
They can't do that.
Yeah, I think that's
but they can though.
Hold on, real quick.
I have a bone. Oh, go ahead.
Just one important thing. What Sawyer is talking about is one thing to remove a license like Sony did with those 500 movies. Is another thing to tie an account and conduct and all those things to whether you can have access to the things that you purchased or not. So if I have an account with Xbox or Sony and I say something wrong or whatever, and they decide for whatever reason to, or I try to return a game to Sony and they cancel my account, everything I bought with them digitally is gone. I can't get another account.
But the pushback that I have though is the waters are murkier than that, because even when you have a physical disc today, all the physical people, right? Even if you have a physical disc today and you do exactly what you said, Everborn Saga, you still don't get access to your stuff.
No, because if you gave me the disc, I could put it in my thing, and on my account, I could get access to the property.
Sure, but it's not yours, right?
But it doesn't matter. He can sell me the disc. He can give me the disc.
Sure,
he can lend me the disc. And I can still get access.
You had that, meaning even with physical, right? Because they'd muddied that ownership a little bit. At least with physical, you could have passed that ownership on and been able to, even though you can't play it anymore, sell it to somebody else so that they can play it, or you create a new account or something to that effect. Which, by the way, even that's becoming onerous because they'll flag your IP address and all this other madness, right? But at least you had that recourse. Now even that is gone, right? So that's why I'm saying that, like, just the idea of the physical device, the physical thing, right? Like, yes, we've had it, right? And yes, it is valuable, and the transition is happening, and it's doing that. But because people didn't focus on the actual license versus ownership part of it, they focus too much on the physical device. There will always be a new medium by which you store stuff.
Here's the kicker: this transition happened without them telling us.
Yes, exactly.
That's we were reading all the terms of service. Even Steam, who has been relying strictly on the licensed business model, last year, I don't know if you remember, California passed a law that said you cannot label something as you're buying it if you're just.
And then they just quietly put license on everything. Yes.
And so now Steam, who's been doing this for 20 years, is like having to come and fess up. This is part and parcel of this hiding or obfuscation of the fact that they're transitioning your ownership to just access. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. When you transition from me owning this, right? We talked about this bundle life, or to me just accessing this. Why the heck am I paying the same amount of money to rent a? Sorry, this makes me very angry. Right? Like it is surreptitious, and they did not communicate this enough. They did not communicate it well enough. And in fact, when Shuhei Yoshida and Adam Boyes, when they had the cheeky E3 2013,
this is how you share your game stuff.
Share a disc, right? Yeah, that was then 10 years ago. But what they did was they created an expectation of ownership.
Yes.
And that expectation is even now being violated.
But even then, the discs that they were talking about, you probably couldn't run them now because they've turned off the servers. Like, you can't run them now. So even then,
at that time, the games were on disc.
Not all of
largely.
them. Not all of them. The PS3 was the beginning of that transition, right? Like, yes, you're right that largely that was the case when it happened. I guess what I'm saying is, because we didn't keep our eye on the ball, we were too focused on the physical thing. When that transition happened, it was in the dead of night. No one paid attention, and now the physical device itself is going. Now people are paying attention.
They hid the fact that we couldn't anymore, and taking away our ownership and transitioning it to access, rental, and harkening back to what I was talking about earlier. Game Pass, I am paying for access. I know I don't own it, right? So that's kind of right there on Front Street. Whereas this whole thing is like turning into a just, why did you lie to me?
Yeah. So here's a bit of alternate opinion, okay? Because while I was thinking this through for the show, I was really wanting to dig deep and have a full understanding of what this looks like, even though I don't think I'll ever understand it from a regulatory and legal perspective like you do. But I was digging through it to see what it looks like. And I gotta say, even though we're fighting the fight, and I think it's a good fight to fight, and I feel like it's too late, but it's still good to let your opinion be known, we do need to keep our expectations and the understanding of what is looking like here in check, because I would argue, and the numbers stand in fine vision of this, that our lifetime is the only lifetime by which we've had the blip, and that's what it is, a blip, the blip of ownership within our lifetime, 70s, 80s, 90s, and now 2000s. Okay.
Are you talking about software or intellectual property?
No, I'm talking about ownership writ large for entertainment, which is what a lot of this stuff is based off of, right? Let's talk movies and TV. When we were kids, right? When we were kids, you weren't going to the video store to buy a VHS, because that VHS cost $600. We don't remember this because we were kids, right? We would go to video stores to go rent them because the video stores could afford the $600 ownership so that they could rent it to us over and over and over again. No one was buying movies like that. It started with very high prices for companies to then buy and then distribute as far as ownership, as far as rental and all of that. Before then, in the 70s and earlier, like, you were going to a movie and then the movie would be shown, and then you're done because there was no VHS to show you, and then the film is gone, right? Before then, during the black and white movie days, guess what? They did it. They showed it. Then they burned the freaking reels. Many of them burned the reels. And before that, guess what? Oh, did you go see that play that one time at that place when Shakespeare and them did that amazing thing? Yeah, you didn't see it. It's gone now. We've never really owned our entertainment, ever, except for our lifetime, right? So while I do agree it's a good fight and we should have been fighting, and I think we're too late, we should keep fighting, we should also keep in mind that this is historically has never been for us. We've never actually had ownership of any of this. They've always kind of pulled the wool out over people's eyes, and it's never been a thing. And even further, our kids are going back to before we were born. They don't own ish, and they don't care. So we should.
But they were never told that they could own this, right? They've always been told that you're going to get access to this. That's why it feels like such a stab in the back, is because this happened under the guise of convenience, right? Mm-hmm. And here's my other thing. I'm physical because I pay for this, right? You're saying it costs you so much money to make a disc. Why isn't the digital version cheaper?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to pay full price, I'm going to get the full thing on it, right? And give me the real thing. Like, that's just my take on it. Well, and to answer your question, there is a solution to this.
Okay.
The solution is we need a digital bill of rights.
Yeah. Well, that's the solution. Yes. But before we get to that solution, I want to talk a bit further about the ramifications of this. The second-hand market, which is basically dead, right?
Which will be killed by this action, yes.
Yeah, right? This is completely dead. Like if GameStop doesn't diversify their portfolio more, this is the end of GameStop. Am I wrong? Like, this is the end of any purveyor of physical media. Your favorite old school retro game shop won't have, after PS5, won't have much to sell. They'll just continue selling everything up to PS5, and now they're done. And let's not get it twisted. I know I'm using PS5 and PlayStation as the barometer to have this conversation. Xbox is no different. Like, they've even minimized their physical footprint a long time ago, right? They still offer some, but most of their games are, if you were to walk into your standard store these days, you're not finding a robust Xbox section, right? Nintendo is still robust, and so too is PlayStation until this news. But Xbox had depreciated their online, their physical brick and mortar footprint a long time ago, right? It's not
that was
just one. Exactly, very much intentional, right?
They were walking us into this digital future.
Yeah.
But that was on Front Street, and that's where I have an issue. It was on Front Street. Now, going to your discussion about the retail market, the secondary markets, I am happy for Sony to do this to get their money. My main concern is not the secondary market. My main concern is my ownership of my media. Should it be physical or in some tangible format that I can assure that I have ownership, and I can retain ownership, and I can exclude others from ownership, and I can enjoy without anybody interrupting me of this ownership, right? Without the company having control. And the real issue here is control, because talking to the secondhand market, this is why they're doing it, right? They do not want to share that money with Walmart, Target, Amazon, whoever is going to sell a physical copy, and they certainly don't want to get or lose out on that secondhand stream of the reselling. So that's really what it's all about.
The most expensive game, the biggest game in the world in the form of GTA 6 is showing up with a less than complete version at $80, the full complete version at $100, and you have no physical way of buying it.
And that's probably why I'm not gonna buy it.
Right? This is the world we're talking about, right? This is a world where once that happens, right? How are they going to compete on price? And obviously in the PC space, we have a bit more options there because storefronts, and we were just talking about Winhance. Shout out to Winhance. Like, storefronts are competing, and then you can use like the Winhance store or what do you call it, games.gg or whatever, deals.gg to find your best deal. But on a console platform, you don't have options. You have what you have, and that's all you have, right? And if they're not giving you digital physical options
with
anymore,
Sony,
now Walmart and
Xbox
Walmart
and Nintendo still have extra platforms on the digital end. But yeah,
sure, yes, right. But at the end of the day, if you depended on that, right, you no longer have an ability to do that. It is kind of game changing to make a joke of it. What they're proposing.
You're absolutely right. They redefined the terms of the game, and here we are stuck saying, "Oh wait, when did we talk about this?"
Yeah.
Wait, you told me that I could share games by just handing it over, and now you're just like, and what about the fact that they just sold us a disc drive?
Exactly.
And they're not going to support it after.
Yes.
Any game that comes out after 28.
And the question is, do we continue getting more disc drives in the future? Because they're
also
literally winding down
PSVR
production
too. But I guess you're not supposed to.
There we go. There you go. So Everborn, I know you said you didn't have too much in this. What are your thoughts here? Like I know you and I and most of us, some of us, I know Soltech, you're far more physical in your ownership. Like I have made my peace with digital, with the physical items a long time ago. My battle that I've always been on is owning of your digital right. So like, for example, the reason why I champion GOG so much is not only do you get the game that you bought from GOG, you also get the installer, right? So that way,
in GOG we trust.
Go away, in GOG we trust. That's right. That way, if they ever go away, right, I can literally just reinstall it myself. If I want to give a copy of CDPR's Cyberpunk to Soltech or to Everborn, I can literally just take the installer that I bought from GOG and hand it to them digitally, and now they too own the game, right? That's why I say we've been kind of, at least on the physical console side, we've been kind of like focused in the wrong place. Like that GOG installation, that CDPR installation can be. Let me land my plane real quick. It can be put on an SD card. It can be put on a physical CD. It can be put on whatever else is next. But you own the installer, which gives you the right to continue to own that game, right? But since we were so focused on the medium of the disc, we didn't get to that fight of owning the installer, which gives us continued rights to our games. Go ahead, everyone.
All right, this is the last thing I'm going to say because I got a contractor at my door.
Please.
Is it possible that the console market doesn't want this? Because when Xbox tried to do it, they got shouted down and got yelled at about online check-ins and all these things. Think so. And nobody wanted it when Xbox was trying to let you trade digital.
They didn't hear the message. They didn't hear it.
Okay, cool. But now you get what
all
you
they heard was the DRM stuff. Yeah,
cool. You get what the duck gets.
Yeah,
which rhymes with F.
Yeah.
But the point is, you don't get the world you deserve. You want, you get the world you deserve.
Yes,
and this is what everybody asks for. And and that ties back to why day one Game Pass is going away, because people got it and act like it didn't mean anything. They got smart delivery, act like it didn't mean nothing, right? Because their favorite company wasn't doing it. So now you lose your physical stuff.
Yep.
And this is what you asked for. So
you're not wrong.
This is what it is. The fight that's been happening that you're talking about digital ownership, that happens on the PC side. That's why GOG exists, right?
Yes. But that should have been happening on the console side, so that it doesn't matter what medium.
They don't want it.
They don't want it. Like, you know,
they don't want it. They don't want it.
It's just wild now,
but they don't want it. So I don't know what to tell them. Right?
It's so sad. It's so sad.
You don't like it? Go to GOG. But this is what they wanted, and so now you're gonna see the crocodile tears for a little bit, but they asked for this. So hashtag charge them more. On that note, you guys have a good weekend.
and there goes Mr. Everborn Saga. He dropped his last bars. Sir, we'll see you in the Discord, my good man. We're gonna finish up here and get going, but I know you're early, so please, you can make your way, and we will see you soon. Appreciate you, good sir. All right, bro. So Infinite Umbra says, I was talking about this Bill of Rights for digital the other day while playing Devil's Advocate. Funny enough, Soltech. I didn't word it quite as eloquently as you did, though. Sir, continue to word it more eloquently, Spelltech. Talk to us about the digital bill of rights.
So what really needs to happen, and let me just frame it real quickly. What has been happening is in the EU and lately here in California, there has been a movement called Stop Killing Games. And the essence is really to ensure that games are playable once the online servers go offline. In EU, it actually had reached enough signatures to reach the threshold amount to get to the point where they start discussing it in Brussels. Then apparently we heard there was a backdoor meeting between Mr. Guillemot of Ubisoft and those folks at Brussels. And after that meeting, they decided to unilaterally, without taking any account or
anybody's
putting it to
consideration,
a vote, to just stop killing games in EU. So at that point, which to me means that, like, all right, so you guys are making these decisions for corporate interests. As soon as you got like how many millions of people telling you we don't want this, and you have this dude who comes and says, no, it's going to cost me money to do it, and you're just going to say, no, you people who have voted us in should not get what you asked for. So I think there's going to be a reckoning there. But more recently, there was a movement here in California where it passed the Congress and it made it to the Senate, but I believe in the Senate it got killed down. It was pretty much the same thing for Stop Killing Games. But the California version. And I trust in, if California can do it, being the 5th or 6th largest economy in the world, that all other jurisdictions are just going to have to follow in suit, at the very least in the context of compliance of the company for the law in California, that they would have to generally apply it everywhere else in the United States. And
let me quickly just for a quick moment give an easy example as to what we're talking about with the Stop Killing Games initiative. Just real quick, right? Like, let's say, and these are the worst of the worst example, just so you understand. It's funny, but just follow me, right? With the Stop Killing Games initiative, then Concord becomes like Redfall. Yes, it's an old game. Yes, you don't like it. Oh yeah, whatever. But you bought it, you own it, you have the ability to go play it. Right now, Redfall, even though everybody's like, oh my God, it's the worst thing in the world. Guess what? It still exists in your library. It used to be online only. Guess what they did out of the quote unquote goodness of their own heart? They put an offline mode in. So it's no longer server connected. So now, even though it is, the laughing stock, and it will be, right, fine, it's still playable in your library, right? All this means is when the Eye of Sauron, that is the company, like moves their vision off of that property, right? There is pressure from some kind of regulatory institution or some kind of body that says, look, if your game has the ability to put an ad hoc mode in so that people can play with each other rather than connect to your server, if you can turn on like offline mode, disconnected from authentication and check-in, you have a responsibility to do that so that the people can keep their ownership of it whole, right? Rather than you just doing what's best for you and moving on, right? A la every black hole game that comes and fails. That's what we're talking about here, right? Not every game will be able to do it because some games are literally server backed, right? Every single game, like some games are like,
even then we have community servers that can take over the job.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, so what we're talking about here is if this initiative like went to where it's supposed to go, right? Destiny 2, Destiny 1 and 2 would live somewhere and you could go and play it. Whether it be you download all the binaries and then you're responsible for running it from your local machine, or there's a community server somewhere that everybody connects to. But the idea that the company would make you pay a month after month or every 6 months or whatever for campaigns that you played and paid for years, only to then quote unquote like vault them and then close them off and now you have no rights to them. That's the fight here, right? Like They have to make every effort to keep your ownership of digital rights whole. And right now, because there is no pressure or regulatory body or anything like that, and let's be clear, Regulatory bodies have their own issues. We heard what the ESA did recently.
And I was going to get to that.
Yeah, none of them seem to be for us. They seem to be for their own interests. But we need something that is for us to protect our interests in this digital world. Because, and let me lay my plane here, finally, a new physical media will show up, whether it be a USB stick or a micro SD card or whatever medium you use to take your device or your stuff with you. But as long as you don't own the fundamental way by which it's connected to the source, so you can like sell it or like use it offline, you don't own anything. So this disc stuff was an obfuscation. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. It kind of it really strikes us like they're stabbing us in the back. I'm going to talk about ESA now, right? The ESA, right? It's basically an Entertainment Software Association. It's a U.S. trade group, represents major game publishers and developers. It advocates for policies that support the industry's ability to distribute, protect, and create, distribute, and protect games, while also promoting consumer choice, safety, and innovation. I think that the ESA is also compromised, as was the group in Brussels that shot down the Stop Killing Games movement. The ESA really is advocating for this harsh separation of digital rights, where they're saying, no, you don't have digital rights, you only have a license. And they are really on the wrong side of all of this, right? And so we need to, as a grassroots movement, start to lobby them and to at least get the whole gaming community supporting this, because it's not just PlayStation, it's also Xbox, it's also Nintendo. I know, I have a friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he lost his whole Nintendo library because of a transaction that was not his fault, that happened to a device that he sold, and someone did something because the game was still on that device. My friend lost his whole library with no recourse.
No recourse. Yep.
That's unfathomable.
By the way, this dovetails right into the whole PlayStation Store policy thing. All of that gets handled by digital rights, right? It falls on your hard drive, you have no return policy. What kind of horse crap is that? Absolutely not, right? Like, just because you looked at it and your hands have touched it, now you own it, you can't return it. And if you want to return it and you fight the case and win it with your digital like credit card company, we'll block your entire account and make you lose access to your entire library until you give us our money back, right? All of that ties in to your digital rights, right? If it's a physical good and you have physical right to it, they should not have all of the control by how they control when you access it, how you access it. It's ridiculous.
I can take my game that I bought from Target back to them and say, hey, I got 90 days, right?
Yeah. Right.
I didn't open it or whatever. Yeah. I took it home, whatever. So even if I did open, like there is, I can take it back. I have a recourse to it. It's just, and it's 15 days, I guess, with I don't know the exact, but then we have Xbox, we have Steam, who are also handling that digital transaction in a much more sane manner, in a way that respects you as a consumer.
Although Steam's problem also, like they also deserve some boot on that, because they too don't provide you any installers. They too call it a license. There's been historical situations where people have contacted the Steam support forums and said, hey, I want to provide a way of like keeping my library alive as a legacy play. Hey, I want my children to be able to have access. And they were like, nope, if you pass away, you've lost rights to all of your stuff. It's gone. That's Steam.
That's unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
That's like, what ownership means, right? You paid full price for this game, by the way.
Yeah. Full price. You paid what they asked you to pay for it. So you now quote unquote own it. But do you really? No, you don't. Because the minute you are not there to claim it, it turns into dust. And there's no recourse, no way of fighting the case, because that long like screed that you signed, the EULA you signed, gave up all your rights. It is wild. It really is, right? And I myself, only on Steam, have 711 games. right now. Right now, I wonder how much
I'm
all
in the
that it
700s
costs in
myself.
value.
Yeah, totally.
Right. The minute you no longer are able to claim it, you can't give that to your children. You can't pass that on. You can't. Right. This is where we live, and I am one who's not like a forever physical guy. I'm not beholden to a disc, but I'm beholden to the ownership of the good that I paid for.
Yes.
It's
all about ownership for me. All about ownership.
So,
I'm not worried about the form. I just need to be able to enjoy it without you bothering me about it.
This is why I said it analogous to the whole global warming / the climate change debate, because it was forever physical. The word forever physical. People were so focused on that physical disc, they did not see that, oh, you can have a disc and still not own shit. Sorry, that's my one. You know what I mean? You can have your disc. You still don't own any of it. So stop.
Do you remember when PlayStation went down for 3 months?
Yes, exactly.
So we're saying they're never going to go down anymore, and we're, and this whole DRM authentication system is going to be covering us for all of summer when you're down. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're impervious, huh? Didn't what's his name? Colin lose his account? Thousands of dollars for the games because it got hacked. How impervious are they?
Yeah, right. and understand, this is not to say that digital is the enemy. I love Game Pass. I love digital services. I love the deals that sometimes and the convenience that digital can provide. But digital ownership and physical ownership are two separate things, and they've muddied the waters. And many of us did not pay attention when that was happening.
But I would contend that they didn't communicate that to us effectively.
True.
Because they
and I guess the reason why I'm on my soapbox is because
game.
Yes.
But they didn't. This right here was like, just don't tell them about it. Let's just make this a boardroom decision.
The reason why I'm on my soapbox is because I was one of the few going, hey man, when Xbox came out with their TV thing, they were also talking about digital rights ownership at that time. They were talking about that. And even there, it wasn't perfect and clean, but at least you had some rights in the mix. And people just shot all of that down because of TV and bad messaging, which, yes, rightly so. But guess what's happened since then? All of them has systematically, one by one, put all those things you hated back in place, except for the thing you probably wanted, which was the digital rights part. They have not put that in place anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we find ourselves back behind the 8 ball without any recourse. So I really wanted to have this conversation with you, sir. I think, and by the way, I would let people reach out to us to have this conversation. Not only is he a staff writer on GCP, which we appreciate, he is also a lawyer by trade. Not in this exact copyright world or whatnot, but obviously, as you can attest, the man speaks eloquently and with experience and with knowledge. We need to empower ourselves with knowledge so they can stop with this whole okie doke thing they keep pulling on us. And I feel like we on this show and in this community have a responsibility to be yelling and grabbing the pitchforks and saying, hey guys, this is what's really happening. Let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you talking through this with us. Any final points you want to drop before we get out of here with all?
Yeah, just guys, let's not let platforms divide us. Let's really unite and get behind this, and let's really try to see whoever in our state is, or your representative, get this on the ballot, because this really needs to happen. This really needs to happen. We're being lied to, and now they've taken it away, and people are upset and angry. And I'm not locked to a digital medium, but I am locked to that ownership aspect. And
me too.
Quite fairly, guys, you should be concerned about this, because they can turn off that access anytime.
They did. Don't you remember? PlayStation announced that, oh, by the way, we lost. We're not renegotiating our contract on these movies. So there goes your game, your movies gone. What you gonna do about it? How you gonna fight it? No way to fight it. Once they own the library mechanism by which you have your library, they can play fast and loose with that whenever they want. What happens a few years from now when the next version of Black Flag comes out and your old version just magically disappears because of reasons?
I'll be so angry.
That's just how it is. That is just how it is, bro. We need to. This is terrible. This is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Oh, by the way, I see the message, and that's a good technical question there. I guess this is KW View 9 asks, so since Xbox's discs only hold 850 gigs and PlayStation holds up to 100, I wonder if Xbox did have more physical media in Helix, and Sony would charge them an arm and a leg for those 100 gig Blu-rays. Very good question. Sony doesn't exclusively own the rights to the Blu-ray license, but the added costs and all of that does matter, right?
Yeah.
But the reason
we have an article that's kind of running, and we're talking about this, and it's still in the back of my my notes that I've been drafting. But we're going to talk about that specific aspect of it too.
Yeah. The reason why I've been all like, let's not be beholden to discs is we continue to talk about the paradigm like it exists today, right? VHS, Betamax gave way to VHS, gave way to discs, gave way to, right? Like,
did you know that Betamax was higher quality than VHS?
Yes, it was.
Betamax was DVD quality, where VHS is like 240.
Right. There will always be the next physical medium, right? There will always be, and if you like look on the fringes in the beta environments, you'll see that they're already talking about and playing with new technologies that will hold even more storage about stuff that the more the bits that you want to keep holding. Like, they exist today, right? The medium of the actual hard drive or the CD that you know is not all that exists. There's new stuff coming all day, every time, right? Tiny little spheres that hold petabytes of data exists today. They cost too much because they're not mass produced, but if we allow for
economies of scale, will bring them down.
Eventually, it brings them down, right? So if we are beholden to this physical disk stuff, we lose the forest for the trees. We need to own our installers so that whatever medium comes after it, we can put those things on that medium. It doesn't matter what form the physical media takes. It's about ownership of that installer. You know what I'm saying? So it could be offline, it could be anywhere. But yes, that is a very, very apt and interesting question you bring up. But yeah, that's how people, I think, should be thinking if we're going to solve this problem one day somehow, you know? But yeah, once again, thank you so much, Sotek, for being here and for helping us like see some of the visions here, man. Let's catch up on a couple of these super chats, and then we will get out of here, because this was a long show, as these were important topics to be discussed. The great Max City Entertainment is back with another 5. He said, we lost first party day and date in Game Pass. Bots cap for it. We're losing physical games. Ponies will eventually cap for it. Gamers don't stand for anything. Oh no. See, now, while I won't disagree with you on that, Max City, I'm hoping that you and many of those who come and watch us and listen to what we're saying, you know, we can hopefully be the ones that start fighting against that trend, because I agree with you. We tend to not really stand on business at all, but hopefully this changes, because we need to change this thing. You know what I mean?
And that's why I'm making this plea, Max City. Let's get together on this one, man.
Absolutely, yes. The great Adidas 20, he's a member for 24 months. He says, salute everybody. Salute to you, good sir. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Max City continues the generosity and said, Kay, I told them all it takes is one game. They told me it's just COD. Now, look at them. Game Pass is getting strangled, suffocated. It will be a shell of its former self, as it is. Yes, you're absolutely right. And then the last super chat, Mr. Two Opinionated with a 5. He said, do PC gamers have less ownership rights than console gamers? As a certain co-host on a different pod implied that. So real quick, I would say the reason why PC gamers have a different sense of ownership than console gamers is because PC gamers still have the likes of GOG, right? There's still a place where you can go download your installers, where when you buy
all your binaries,
and all your binaries, right? So I buy it on GOG, I have it, and then I can give you the installer. Now you have it too. Then I can give it to somebody else. Now they have it too. You own the source of that thing. It is yours. Versus the whole, even Steam is guilty of this. They just install it for you and then lock it down a la DRM. So now you don't own it. You just have the rights to access it while they give you rights to access it, right? That's the licensing versus ownership thing, right? But that's the only place where it's different, Mr. Two Opinionated. If we didn't have GOG, I would say we're still behind the same 8 ball as console gamers. But thank God for GOG, we do have a place where you can, you know, grab your games like properly. But
let me answer that question in a different angle real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Console gamers, for those that do have discs where the game is fully on the disc, yeah, you actually have full ownership.
So
you have more rights. You have more ownership rights.
But here's the thing about that, right? All the PS3s, right? Like, and this will be a quick little back and forth. All the PS3s that the PS3 games that have the games on disc today, right? The games are on disc today. I do agree with you that you have a higher level of ownership to it, right? I get that. But if you're not me and you're not tweaking and twerking and making sure that the CMOS chip lives and that you have a community like server that can be authenticated in case it loses, if you turn on your PS3 at some point, those discs will be Frisbees. You won't be able to play a single one anywhere, right? You can sell it to somebody.
Right now,
they won't be able to do it either. But you understand what I'm saying, right? There's a lot of technical machinations in the background that makes that simple premise of you have your disc, you own your shit. No, you don't. It's not that simple because there's a lot of back and forth and machinations in the background that stop you, normal man, from just claiming, yup, I got my disc, I own it. That's what brings about emulation. That's what brings about modification, all of that. The reason why all that exists is because those discs are a lie. They have been since the 360 gen. They don't give you ownership of it anymore. Even if the whole game is on that disc, the game, the platform by which you play it can decide one day you're no longer playing that and you're done. Right?
Can I make a prediction?
It's not just you. It wouldn't just be you. It'd be you and everyone else who plays on that medium. So if you sell that disc to somebody else, they're also done. Like, it's just what it is. Go ahead, make your prediction.
I think that, well, you know how there's a bounty program, right, with PlayStation and all of these companies where like if you find an exploit, they'll give you a certain amount of money so that you don't release the exploit and you give it to them so that it doesn't get out into the wild and cause their machine to get cracked. I think that because of this public perception that they're putting out there, those folks who are cracking are going to have less of an incentive to actually cash in that check and just release the cracks into the wild.
You don't know how right you are, because it's funny. I didn't even bring this up. It's funny you mentioned this. There's a recent report. You know that the PS4 is basically a PS5, right? That's what it is. It's a PS4 plus. And the PS4 has already been cracked, right? So guess what? Now, because of all this news, and in the article, it even said exactly what you're saying, Sweltek, that with all the news of digital media going mainstream and physical media going away, now people are
shout out to Dorian Gray, by the way.
Yeah, people are parlaying that hackery that they did on the PS4, and they've even been able to get some 2D games that run on PS5. Like modded and running on PC now. So the PC emulation for PS5, like there's actually official apps now that are on PS5.
Unless we can start cracking
have
the ROMs.
started. They have started. Yeah. Like as recently as 2-3 days ago, they have started. So, hey, we find ourselves in a different world. Real quick, because Vandal is right, and I should have, he cannot be denied. Thanks to Mr. Too Opinionated and all of the great people who have been super chatting today. I will continue to spread the word. We are having a fundraiser, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to PAX West. Like we have been anointed. We have been super blessed to have all of these great people supporting us, and we are now a victim of our own success, to the point where now we're being invited to all these great events that we want to cover. We really want to be there. We really want to like provide great coverage for all of our community that you guys show so much love for. So you're gonna have to help us out. All those super chats, all the various ways you're supporting us, that goes to defraying the costs of all of the various tickets that we have to buy. Lucius Augustus needs a ticket to PAX to Seattle. I will have to cover that cost as well. We have another one. We're trying to hope to get Everborn Saga there as well. You know, some of us have more money than others, and it shouldn't be that we go into bankruptcy in order to facilitate this. It's not fair. You know, it's not fair to the community. It's not fair to the people who want to give of their time and their effort. So please, if you have the ability to, I will say it again, we never want to put you out. We never want to put you in a precarious position, because life is hard out here. You know, we all agree, we all see it. The cost of eggs keeps rising. But if you have the ability to, and you can donate like Mr. Too Opinionated has, like all these folks do, like Soiltech is doing for some reason. Stop doing that, Soiltech. That's not nice. You're on the show and you're donating. Stop that. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Yes, this is me doing the shucking and jiving. Here we go. We're doing it, right? Please, if you can see your way fit as to providing some financial support to help us defray those costs, we would seriously appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for all your continued support. If you want to fully understand what we mean with the shucking and jiving, with the WB frog and all of that, join us on Discord one last time, because that's where we talk all our crap, and you'll hear all of the background machinations that come about all here. But thank you guys so much for all your continued support. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for reading the articles that come up from the great Soil Tech and others who are lending their voices here. Shout out to Eastside. Shout out to Mac City. Shout out to all the great people who continue to support us on a weekly basis and are hanging out in our Discord, making our community as great as it is. Until next week, I think that's it. Soil Tech, any word from you? Anything before we get out of here?
No. Just catch us at the Discord. We're for most of you guys don't know, I also write for the Iron Lords as well.
He does as well. That's right. Great freelance writer.
But we do this every day. Come on down and hang out. And if you don't worry about getting checked, you will get checked.
Oh boy. Yeah. He walks around carrying a virtual gun, and if you talk smack, he will virtually shoot you. Yes, that's what he will do. All virtually, of course. Further. Be nice. But I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done here. It's been a almost 4-hour podcast. Jesus Christ, my voice is hoarse. I'm going to get some sleep. Until next week, goodbye, everybody. Peace.
Nice to be in orbit.